I talk big money. I talk big.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
All right.
I'll see you guys in a couple hours.
Go on in. Great stuff, homie.
Bro.
We're confirmed for next Tuesday at 11.
Let's
Word.
Can't stop, won't stop. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Can we tell
That's what's
people?
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already did.
Yeah.
Whether the answer is yes or no, you already told him. So
King
Combs,
Combs, King Combs, 102.5, Corners of the Culture.
I got to
Sacramento.
lead it though because it's a KSFM interview. So I hope you guys are cool with that.
you got to what?
I got to lead the interview because it's a KSFM.
You better.
Do what you do.
But
King
let's do
Combs,
it.
can't stop, won't stop.
Oh,
You
yeah.
coming next week.
There. We're live, forgot.
Oh, we're live, pal.
Tune in. All right, see you guys in a little bit.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not, but we we looking. We gotta be.
Game day, Coach Molly. Didn't you guys have a game yesterday? Y'all in the tournament?
YouTube is it? Oh no, what's it? Oh, Ms. MacTan, what's going on?
They did.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Dr. David tagged us.
Can't stop, won't stop, bad boy. That's funny. What does Dr. David be doing with these memes, man? This is hilarious.
Oh man. Welcome. Had a fun episode of Corners that y'all are gonna. Your boy gonna be up late tonight, man. We're gonna make it happen tomorrow.
Sacktown still faking it.
Oh man.
I heard that like right before. I was like, wait a minute. Oh.
Yo. I am the way that I am because of these two. These guys, man. Just be minding my. Oh man. What are y'all up to today? Praying for a Kings win tonight. Oh man.
This is a funny headline on my ESPN app.
Oh, come on, man. What it do, baby? Welcome in here to the Wednesday, November 9th edition of Dealing with KC. I'm Damian Boiling.
Acknowledge me!
He is Kenny Caraway.
Yes, sir.
Acknowledge me.
And we are so happy that you are here with us on this game day, busy game day. As a matter of fact, Coach David Patrick going to join us coming up a little bit over 1 hour from now. We've got Chris Biderman going to join us at 2:17. James Ham, I would say James Ham will be here with the final hour of the show. James Ham is just popping in after.
He just comes in whenever.
Yeah, so he might be here at 2. He might be here at 1. He might be here at 3.
This is his house. We're just.
There are a lot of people here in the building to see James Ham today. So they're all dressed.
Even
very
PDX.
nicely.
PDX.
PDX is in the building.
James Ham today.
Yes, PDX is an actual person, and he is here in the building. He's heard he does have feelings. He's heard things about our show, and he was just like, I don't believe that they do this on a day-to-day basis. So I'm gonna have to pop my head in here and see what's going on. King's Face.
Your
yeah.
boys.
The Kings face arguably their toughest test of the season.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
It is.
Cleveland.
I mean, it's the best team they face record wise for sure.
yeah.
Well, what's Portland? No, they don't have. They got more than 2 losses. So yeah.
I mean, Cleveland. Are there any questions whether Cleveland's a contender? I mean it's 9 games, so you there's no wrong answer here. I felt how I felt about them. My Cleveland Cavaliers,
Those are your boys.
but does anybody look at them and go, nah, I don't see it?
All right, well let's clarify that though. Like, you think the Cavs can win a championship this year?
Yes.
I don't.
Okay.
But they're and this is the upper, the upper. There's
I know Milwaukee,
echelon.
right? I
Yeah.
know you got Milwaukee, but outside of Milwaukee, who do you really feel is capable of beating Cleveland?
Capable is
Boston?
Yeah, I was about to say Boston. Even though Cleveland beat them twice. They beat them twice, right? Or just once?
Jesse? Twice.
Beat them twice.
They did beat him. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
They're there. They're there. Maybe they are a contender. I just can't wrap my head around. I think I look at this team in Cleveland that's really good, and I feel like when you talk about championship, maybe 1 or 2, maybe a year away. That's just my feeling. But you look at it like, yeah. I guess they are a true contender because I got Milwaukee. I would favor Milwaukee over them. I think them and Boston is a bit of a toss-up. It's a 50-50 matchup. In the West, there's nobody I really believe in as far as like championship at this point
right
in time.
now. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess Cleveland technically would be
they're legit,
contender.
man.
They're
They're
really
good.
They're a
Like
good ball club.
Will Z posted a great, preview. He does this every game, preview by the numbers. And he just uses numbers to set up the Kings game that night. And I think it was 4th on offensive efficiency, 2nd best defensive efficiency.
Wow.
Come on, man. Like they don't really have I don't know if it's 9 games for them. I'll check the record, 9 or 10 games into the season for Cleveland, but they don't really have a shortcoming right now. And my bigger concern, this is what we talked about yesterday. My bigger concern, because I think the Kings, they're 8-2, so 10 games into the season for Cleveland. They're capable. I think they're capable of competing with everyone. My concern is the same concerns we had about the Orlando game, where it was like this is a matchup problem because of Orlando's size, not even because of their talent level, just because of the way that they were playing at the time they played the Kings. I have those same exact concerns about Cleveland, but the difference is Cleveland's way better than Orlando. Like their bigs, like if Cleveland got up 20 like Orlando did, or whatever the number was a couple of nights ago,
game's over.
It's not. Yeah, it ain't going
over.
away. Yeah, that's that team, that roster. They're not letting the Kings, back into it. Not to say the Kings wouldn't make a run in that situation, but this is it's a more talented team. It's a more experienced team, and I worry less about the Kings' ability to compete and more about, I think there's a handful of teams that have really, really tough matchups. I think Orlando is a difficult matchup for the Kings. Yeah. I think Cleveland, and I'm sure you can find the tape of last year because we talked about it when they played Cleveland last year. I think the Cavs are a brutal matchup for Sacramento. And it's heightened by Donovan Mitchell, but I felt the same way about most of this roster last year. I think we felt the same way about most of this roster last year.
Hey man, styles make fights, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's just it is a bad matchup for this particular Kings team because of the height issues inside. Yeah, it's a tough matchup for them. I still stand by what I said yesterday.
Yeah, you feeling it?
I think the Kings are going to win tonight.
Okay.
I think they're playing good basketball. Hopefully, Malik Monk is good to go. I saw he was on the injury report or something yesterday. So hopefully he's good to go because he's playing great basketball. And I think they're going to get a little boost from being back home and play well enough to win tonight.
I hope so, man. I hope the crowd gets out there, shows out, is loud. Malik Monk was on the injury report.
Yeah.
With it absolutely doesn't mean he's not going to play, by the way.
Right.
Just means he was on the injury report, which is something I wasn't.
Groin soreness.
He hurt his groin looking back at the official.
Classic. That was a classic.
Wondering why the hell that call was missed. So that's certainly something to keep an eye on, especially after the way that he played the last couple of games, and kind of following the Harrison Barnes stuff. Harrison Barnes, Rashawn Holmes, like I'll steal your line that you used a minute ago. Styles make fights. Mm-hmm. Maybe Rashawn wasn't stylistically the best matchup for the Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's 6 straight quarters though, so I'm kind of paying attention to that. See what that looks like. And then Harrison Barnes, who didn't play in the final quarter and some change of the game versus the Warriors.
I am just thinking about this, getting ready for the show today. Not that this isn't a revelation or an epiphany or anything like that. It just is what it is. I want to see Harrison and even Rashawn get back at it. Like, I want to see them play well. I know the immediate thought for everybody, and I'm not saying that like a lot of people have malicious intent or anything like that, but the immediate thought is like, get them out of the lineup. You know what I mean? I've had those thoughts from time, just like during the game, but I want those guys to succeed. I want those guys. I don't want them to be out of the lineup. Mm-hmm. I want them to play better, so they can remain. Because I think this team ultimately right now is obviously better if Harrison Barnes is playing well. Right? It puts everything into place. It's a smoother transition for everything. So maybe this is a little big league situation. Maybe I'm just holding on to
really
hope.
Love that reference.
It's spot on.
Can't get that excited over. Isn't it something wrong if you get that excited over a single?
Seeing eye single. Maybe that's what it is, but I want them to play better. And if I'm Mike Brown, I'm probably giving him the opportunity to continue to play better. At least to start, right? In the game, it may be like it was on Monday night. Like, all right, you started, we struggled. Malik came in and, we got back into it. Started the second half, we struggled. We got back into it. I can't go back to you in this game. It may be that. But at the start of the game, I'm still giving Harrison that opportunity to figure out if he can get out of this funk that he's in.
It's a long funk.
I know.
And not the good George Clinton Parliament funk either.
It's not
funkadelic. It ain't that P-funk.
No.
It ain't that P-funk.
It ain't that P-funk.
Which is probably a song somewhere from like 1996 or something. I bet you could find a song called It Ain't That P-Funk. Mike Brown has done a great job at adjusting the lineup based on what works. But that's primarily certainly he's made the adjustments in the first half, but it really, really stands out in the second, whether it's Keegan not playing late or it's Harrison Barnes. I think we do get fixated on who's starting, when they're subbing out and all of that different stuff until the game is tight and starts to finish, gets to a conclude, and you realize, wait a minute, when was the last time we saw Rashawn? When was the last time we saw Harrison? When was the last time we saw Keegan? Like, who's not playing at the end really, really stands out.
Right.
And obviously, going back to Terrence Davis's game against Portland, we speculated after the first game, we've wondered where, what consistent minutes would be there for guys like Terrence Davis. Ultimately, we saw it as the season progressed for guys like Trey Lyles. That's really what I feel Mike uses the first 2.5 quarters for, is to figure out, okay, who's got that feel. I honestly don't think Mike is going into tonight's game. I don't think Mike goes into any game thinking this is the Terrence Davis game. Mm-hmm. This is the Trey Lyles game. It's like, I'm going to find what works. And when I find it, I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to try to figure out anything else during the game.
Mm-hmm.
If Terrence Davis is working, Terrence Davis is going to play. Trey Lyles is going to work. Trey Lyles is going to play. In consecutive games, we saw Trey Lyles play, I think, 29 minutes and 4. Yeah. This was in back-to-back games. Played really, really well in that 29 minutes. Someone else was working out better against Golden State, and he only played 4. Yeah. And not an indictment on any particular player. The only one that I really feel like is a bit questionable is Rashawn, because Rashawn didn't even get that opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of this stems from stuff we see on the defensive end.
Yeah.
So we're just getting started. We've got a lot we've got to talk about with the Sacramento Kings. We'll take a look at their next 5 games.
I was just going to say, there's something coming up. Something on the horizon. I want to get your thoughts about it. I want to get everybody's thoughts about it. What do they want to see with some of these things coming up? We'll talk about it.
We'll dive into that. We'll also open up the phone lines for you. 916-909-1320. We're just getting started. It's D-Lo and KC here on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320.
I want to give a big shout out. Big shout out, much deserved shout out to the state of Tennessee for banning slavery.
Yeah.
Big shout out to them.
They can celebrate Juneteenth finally.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I hope you guys.
Or it'll be great next year. It'll be their first annual celebration of Juneteenth. That'll be amazing. That'll be amazing.
Tennessee, you're moving this country in the right direction here by banning slavery.
Our first, and I gotta believe Mayor Kane was behind this. That's gotta be Kane. That's gotta be Kane.
You know what's crazy? I gotta actually see this to make sure. Make sure I see this right.
I thought it was Memphis.
State of Tennessee.
Oh, right.
Yeah. The state is Chicago.
The state of Chicago.
I was gonna say.
The other crazy thing about it is they say there's 20% of people who voted against it.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, it's not.
Jeez,
it's believable.
Man. Jeez.
Y'all want to see Kyle Draper's video the other day? It looked like Graves. Oh man.
Crazy.
We're going to have time. I wrote in the Jacques Vaughn stuff. Yeah. Keenan Allen not expected to practice.
That's big. Keenan Allen can go.
Yeah, it's a bad boy.
Okay, so you see we're getting Ruiz versus Wilder?
It's been ordered. The fight hasn't happened though, huh? I think the WBC ordered.
I think they said that's the next eliminator for whoever wins that gets Fury.
I told you there'd be signs. I told y'all there'd be signs.
They both won it, I think. So it's a little different than Errol Spence and Thurman.
Dr. David E. Wild.
WBC is trash. And it sucks to say that because I think it's the most famous belt. The green belt, the green strap is the most famous, but they run the organization like a clown show.
Appreciate you guys. Talk to me. Yep. Hey, man, we're the corporate champions today. Corporate champions. just how
This for Mike Coppinger. This is a clown top 10 list. He got Terrence Crawford at 2. Terrence Crawford ain't fought in he's fought once in 3 years.
Still getting that ESPN rub.
How you gonna have him number 2? He's fought one time in 3 years. I'm scouting right now I'm helping Coach Patrick out right now. Seattle versus UC San Diego. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? It's a team effort. You know, it takes a village. Oh, those are nice.
love it when you talk to me. Oh my God. So they're rolling out the Twitter stuff, and the fake Adam Schefter's got the check mark next to him.
Oh yeah.
There's a fake LeBron out there already too.
What a fucking joke. Wow.
That's
What a
embarrassing.
joke. Wow. Man, you got to have them alerts on. Goodness gracious. What a mess. What a mess.
That's crazy.
Dr. David has a great point here on youtube.com/ESPN1320, twitch.tv/ESPN1320 if you want to watch the show. Twitter Blue rolled out, and Twitter is just about to beat ass. It's awful. There's fake Adam Schefter's, fake LeBron James is announcing retirements. This app is just garbage.
Yeah.
However, Dr. David says, let's all pitch in and get Mitch verified.
There we go.
That's not a bad idea.
I'm with that.
We should get Mitch verified. I don't even know where. I know Mitch is on Twitter somewhere. I don't know exactly where.
He tweets me every now and
then.
then.
I don't know that his tweets would translate as well as his calls do.
Damon, KC.
Yeah, that's it. My favorite is how the Chatty House spells that. It's Damon, Damon, and Casey, Casey. I love it.
That's that East Coast. That's that Jersey accent. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Hey, Casey, how you doing?
What he say?
I'm old. I'm having a hip replaced.
He said, yeah, my favorite Denzel Washington movie or something was when he said Ebony and Ivory. Oh wait, that was White Man Can't Jump. Anyway.
I'm trying to remember that line. That was Wesley Snipes, Ebony and Ivory, right? Wasn't that Wesley Snipes?
Yeah.
Okay. He really loves White Man Can't Jump. He thinks it was before our time, if I recall correctly. I believe he said White Man Can't Jump was before our time.
Great movie. Aren't they supposed to be doing a reboot? Blake Griffin in it? Or did they can that? I don't know which one.
Okay.
I'm saying Woody.
Blake is the Woody.
That's my thought.
Yeah. He can't be Wesley. Let's call it what it is. Come on. Even I understand that. He can't be the Wesley Snipes. Stop this.
That's right. With Jack Harlow. That is who it is.
Oh, that is okay. Is it
still on?
Coming back to me.
Is it still going? I don't know. Somebody let us.
Is it another LeBron James movie? Is this like House Party?
That's what it seems like.
Oh, it is.
I don't know. No, I don't know if it's LeBron. I'm saying, but as far as a remake that looks trash, I feel like that's the case. Blake isn't that funny. Like people talk about in the NBA.
Is he funny at all?
No, they go crazy for him in the NBA circles, and
Oh.
it's not
Maybe he's funny
just
to
this
them.
guy,
Oh,
because I know how you're going to react. That's what I got to preface it. It's like the Bill Simmons NBA. Blake is hilarious. I'm not saying he's not ever funny. Just saying he's not that funny. He tried to do stand-up over the offseason.
I remember that. Wasn't that a couple off? Well, no, it probably wouldn't be because it was COVID. He probably wasn't at the club. But
I never seen the stand-up. Maybe the stand-up is funny, but like the little stuff that they think is like hilarious, it's not that funny. He did a commercial too. Now I think of all this Blake Griffin stuff is coming to my mind. He did a commercial where he was like naked or something.
okay, I'm okay missing that one. I didn't see it. So
I feel like it's
fine with
some
that.
of my favorite commercials is the Deion Cole Old
those are
Spice
great.
commercials.
Yes, Deion Cole is a
with
treasure.
my girl, man, I can't remember her name, her real name, but she was she's in a lot of stuff. But she was in the game, the show. She's funny too. You ever watch that show, the Black Girl Comedy Skit show?
Oh no, I thought you were asking if I ever
solid.
watched the game.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I watched
yeah.
the game.
She's on that show. That show's
Okay.
pretty. It has some good little moments.
Okay, I always see it. Is that I don't remember if that's Netflix or I've
HBO
seen
Max,
it.
probably,
I just
because it
haven't.
came on HBO, so probably HBO
Okay.
Max.
Maybe Blake is just funny when he's not around. Stand-up's hard. Stand-up
hard.
is really tough.
Yeah. What did he say? Fresh Prince said, I remember I was so pro-black, I wouldn't take some aspirin. Remember when Fresh Prince tried to do stand-up?
Oh, he tried to open for DL?
He said, I was so pro-black, I wouldn't pick the cotton out of an aspirin bottle. Get it? I'm black.
What's funny about watching that is going back and seeing DL doing DL comedy like in 1992. Like DL been, and I think he's brilliant. He's just been the same exact comedian for 30 years.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah.
Just been the same comedian for 30 years.
Me and Jazz were watching Def Comedy Jam a couple weeks ago. Like it wasn't super old because Mike Epps was hosting, but it was old enough where it was a little bit of a different time. The fashion, the jokes was all different.
Yeah, 916-909-1320. Let's get to first comedy show I ever did was DL's. I introduced DL Hughley at Sacramento Memorial Auditorium.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that? Were you nervous?
I was scared to death. Yeah, I was scared. That was the first. That was the first like huge event that I did.
Yeah.
And it was DL. DL was awesome, just incredible. I remember chugging a bottle of Hypnotic on the stage.
Oh my!
It was very easy to drink, and it got a pop.
That is great. Like
it got a
is
pop.
That still in?
It's still in the stores.
That?
It probably
that is crazy.
Hypnotic probably takes, I don't know, 2 to 3 years off your life per bottle. And you know, back in the early 2000s, boy, man,
what were they called?
That bright
Incredible
blue,
Hulks? Is that what they were?
Yeah, you'd mix Hypnotic with
Hennessy.
Yeah.
Right? Oh my gosh.
The blackest drink in existence, right there.
I was in Jeffrey's a couple times. Like, I don't know how I'm getting home.
Yeah.
I don't know how this is gonna happen.
Yeah, I had not proud of it. I'm thankful I didn't drive.
See, now I'm fascinated by this moment. Did people like know who you were at that point, or were you just starting out?
I'm gonna guess no.
But you were on the morning show.
I still don't think people know who I am. Yeah, the morning show. The morning show. I had been doing the morning show probably for 4 months. October. I feel like this was February-ish. I'd only been doing it a few months at that time. But KSFM was a monster, though.
Yeah.
It was a huge radio station.
Yeah.
So I like to believe that they knew who I was, but there's no evidence that they did.
They probably hadn't seen you though either.
Right.
A whole lot.
Yeah.
Like I
was probably dressed really bad. I have no idea what I wore that day. There's no pictures of it, but I was probably dressed very, very poorly.
Who do we got to talk to? Gino?
DJ Gino. Yeah, Black Jesus.
I know he's got
Black Jesus.
We got some video, some pictures.
I showed Sean Cunningham my unpostable picture of me and Riri. And I'm just looking at like how I'm dressed, like, God damn. It's like, here, Sean, here's the picture. He was like, oh, I'd post that everywhere. I was like, bruh, I got like a button down shirt with a tank top underneath it, but it's like a double XL. What the hell? Like, what are you wearing?
Are you showing the belt buckle like in the other picture?
No, belt buckle's covered.
That was big time though. Back in the day, you get you a belt buckle. It was
Yeah,
lit.
you had the big SJ belt buckle with the phone and the two-way
I
clip
had
to the
I had
side.
a Rockaware joint. I had a Rockaware belt with the big Rockaware logo.
Not
Couldn't
proud.
tell me nothing.
I'm not proud of this. Thank God Instagram wasn't around then, because I'd have to burn the internet. 916-909-1320. Is it TC? Who's here, Jay? TC, what's up, brother?
Hey,
Hey, what's up with my two brothers?
what's good with you, TC? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm all right, just chilling. Just taking a look at it. So, I mean, I got two things. So the first one is, to me, I like Adam Sandler to piggyback on the stand-up comedy. It is hard, D-Lo, but I was at the house, and I think Adam Sandler is a better movie, like a comedian, than a stand-up guy. I tried to watch some stand-up by that guy, and I didn't get into it. I was like, man, this dude seems like he's not funny.
I just think it's really hard when you take as much time away as Adam Silver had. Like Chris Tucker tried to do it.
Yeah,
I just think it's just really like stand-up comedians, like they write, read, practice like every single day, and when you stop for, in Adam Sandler's case, decades to make movies, it's not the same. It's just a different muscle.
Yeah,
for sure. And then on the other note is, I seen an interview after our last game with Harrison Barnes, and the look on Harrison Barnes' face is like, get me out of here. So I'm like, I know we want to like give him a shot, and I know we want to play him like we were playing Buddy to like bump up his value, but I mean, it's time to let Harrison go, bro. We need to like look on. I know it's hard. I know he does a lot for the community, bro, but the look on his face and the way he's playing is like, he's ready to just move on, bro. So, I mean,
go ahead.
TC, I'll say this, and you can say whatever. Maybe I'm stalling him out. I mean,
TC being extra.
Yeah, I don't even think it's that he's not playing well.
Yeah,
like he ain't supposed to be happy and giggly. He's not playing well, and they just lost.
Yeah.
So I bet there's a.
We would have killed him if he was running around laughing with the Warriors. Yeah, nah, it's not a good look.
He's not happy right now, and I don't think that's. We don't know. Maybe he does want to get out. I don't know that, but
maybe he does, but he's not going to mail it in.
Yeah, I'm not taking that as that either.
He's going to bust his ass every game that he's asked to play.
Absolutely.
That's who Harrison Barnes is. Harrison Barnes is not Buddy Hield. Those two. This isn't Buddy Hield slander. Your daily Buddy Hield slander brought to you by no one as of right now.
Shout out, Buddy. Playing very well right now.
They're not that. Harrison Barnes is different. These aren't the same guys. And I don't believe Mike Brown, nor Monty McNair, nor the Sacramento Kings front office, nor the meddling owner Vivek Ranadive,
the meddling
as some of y'all just can't stop talking about. These aren't the same thing. Like Harrison's, they're not playing him to up his trade value. They're playing him because they believe ultimately whatever slump he's in, he's going to snap out of it.
Yeah, it's
just a question of will he or won't he.
Harrison Barnes, for me, and I think with everybody else in this city, has the equity and has earned the right where if you see him in post game and he's looking upset or distraught, that he's just upset or distraught. There's nothing nefarious going on as far as like, I want to be out. I'm taking it 100% as he's disappointed in his play. He's disappointed that they're not winning. And that's got to be frustrating to him. And it's nothing more than that.
916-909-1320 if you want to get in on the phone lines. What you said something right before the break. You said something.
Yeah, we got something on the horizon. The Kings have something on the horizon.
Okay. West Coast Hip Hop Night? That's on Sunday.
Big time. You gonna stay?
No.
So you're not gonna stay for Warranty afterwards?
No, man. We got it. Do we got a show Monday?
Yes.
Are the 49ers on at 5:30?
Yes.
Then no, I'm not staying. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna hang with Maybach O. Do our thing. We're gonna mingle.
Yeah.
And then you're taking over chaperone duties for Maybach O, and I'm gonna go home and get ready for Monday.
Okay. All right. Me, Maybach O. Mia will be in the house. I even talked to our guy Guru. I think Guru gonna be in the house.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I'll be in the house too. Mine. Getting ready for Monday's show.
So But yeah, let's look at the schedule. 5 of the next 6 games for the Kings are at home. And we got into a
Okay.
discussion yesterday about protecting the home floor and playing better on the home court. The 5 games starting tonight: Cavs, Warriors, Nets, Spurs, Pistons. To me personally, because I know you don't necessarily like this, the opponents don't matter. I'm not here saying they should do this because of the opponents.
Okay.
I'm saying I need them in those 5 home games to be at least 3-2 because you're at home. Like, I don't
Okay.
care who they play.
I got you.
They've got to start winning at home and being better than a 500 team at home. 3-2. This is probably my first gotta be of the season, right? You got to be 3-2 at the end of this whole thing at home at least.
Okay. I got you. I mean, I hear you. I think that's a perfectly fair argument. It's hard to not factor in the caliber of the teams, but 3-2 feels doable. I get your point. You've been preaching this for, I don't know, 5 months. Kings need to start finding ways to win games at home. If you're going to be in battles, if you're going to lose tough games, lose those tough games on the road, win those tough games at home. Tonight's going to be a very, very tough game for them. What do I want to see them come out of that stretch with? 3-2 is, tonight's tough. I do not feel the way you do about tonight's game. And I really, really hope I'm wrong. I just do not. I do not feel. I don't feel the way that you do. I feel like Cleveland and Golden State are tough matchups for them. I also feel like at some point you're going to beat the freaking Warriors. And it's not, the Warriors are not playing well, great, maybe not even good. The Warriors just aren't playing well right now. Like I think that's a matchup problem for them, but I think eventually you're going to get them.
Yeah. It's crazy with them because the only matchup problem is Stephen Curry. Like
that's right.
That's the matchup problem. And that's
go back a couple of days. They literally couldn't stop him. Well, to be fair though,
Clay always used to play well against him too.
No, well, Draymond had a good enough outing against. He had what I'd expect. Draymond he'd had what I consider an upper echelon Draymond Green outing for 2022.
Draymond played well in the first quarter, and he was never heard from again until that.
I don't think that's true.
To that last play where he got the dunk in the fourth quarter. He didn't. I
mean, it's not like I think he had like 11 or something, or maybe it was a little bit more, but
I'm not exactly sure. He might have had 8.
Yeah, I'll tell you in 2 seconds.
If he had 11, he probably had.
He did. He had 11.
He had 8 of those in the first half, maybe in the first quarter.
He had 11, 8, and 6, but he did have 5 turnovers. I don't know. I felt like he was creating problems for the Kings.
Nah, he wasn't the issue.
Okay.
Wiggins was the issue and Steph was the issue.
I'll watch more film next time. I don't know. Watch more tape. Watch more games, D'Lo. But Steph, the ultimate matchup problem. Brooklyn just feels like a mess. San Antonio, they move the ball. That's if the Kings play a solid game and the Spurs play a solid game, I think the Kings will beat the Spurs.
Yeah.
I think the
Spurs are coming back down to earth a little bit.
I think they play sneaky similar too, in that they run an offense. They run an offense that predicates a lot of ball movement. That's one I've watched San Antonio a little bit just out of curiosity. Brooklyn, I feel like, is a mess. There's obviously news today that Jacques Vaughn is their head coach, not Ime Udoka.
Brooklyn is a mess.
So,
they've been playing better though. They've been playing better. I think they lost
Steve Nash effect, Kyrie Irving effect.
Maybe
show some damn pride effect.
Maybe, but KD's playing really well. They lost against Dallas the other night, but before that, I think they had won like 3 or 4 in a row. So, yeah, they're starting to play better. I think Kyrie's suspension. Well, it's still kind of indefinite, but it's been 5 games, or by the time he gets to Sacramento, it would have been like 7 games or something like that.
And he met with Adam Silver, and then we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, but I only
we'll
say
leave
that
the rest of the checklist alone.
But
What are we doing?
but I say basketball wise, I mean he might be back. I don't.
But is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. On the surface, that's another.
Does Kyrie
that's
like
another-
Jacque Vaughn? I mean, that might be what it boils
Yeah.
down to. Because everyone's trashing Kyrie Irving now. Like that's the in thing to do. I was something in the I think it was the New York Post. A scout said, "Oh yeah, Kyrie just blew up Steve Nash's play calls like 10 times a game."
You know they're gonna protect Steve Nash. You know what? You know what's funny about that? I'll say it.
Yeah, it's all funny. The whole damn thing.
I'll
is funny.
say it. People like I've heard a couple different people. Oh man, Steve Nash was in a no-win situation, and it's all bad. I kind of feel bad for Steve Nash and all this other stuff. You know, they never talk about the fact that he probably shouldn't have got the job in the first place. What the hell qualified him to have that job?
I don't know. It's the Jim Irsay model apparently now. Or
Jim Irsay.
I'm gonna bring in Jeff Saturday to do this because he's respected and liked, just like Steve Nash was. He was respected and liked. I don't know, but it's weird how many people have come to the defense of Steve Nash when a lot of those same people were trashing this hire to begin with. It's like, oh wait, because we really don't like Kyrie Irving, we're gonna defend Steve Nash? Huh. Okie dokie.
Securing the Bagley from everything. I think Scoop, our guy Scoopy, who we need to have on at some point.
He was on this show talking about it.
Kevin Durant wanted him. No, he didn't.
No, he did not.
No, he did not.
Nope, he absolutely did not.
I don't think anybody on the roster like hated him. They were like, no, don't bring him in here. But nobody wanted Steve Nash.
That's a tough job for Jacque Vaughn, man.
It is.
You've got to deal with and I'm not even talking about the Kyrie off the court stuff.
The construction of our roster.
I'm talking about Kyrie like on the court and Ben Simmons, who you're gonna want to shoot at some point. Man, I don't know. That's a tough job.
Yeah.
With the microscope under him. I think it was smart. I have a lot of questions that'll never get answered. The whole report that came out today of due diligence regarding Ime Udoka. You got to be kidding me. How stupid do you think we are? You didn't do your due diligence before you put that report out? Stop it. Someone like I tend to believe Mark Stein's report this weekend about someone in the league, perhaps Adam Silver, was trying to convince Joe Tsai, hey, don't do this, dude. This ain't the time for this. Whatever you want to do in the offseason, visit it. Don't do this now. Now they're talking about due diligence and new things have popped up and like, what? NBA needs to say what this dude did. What did he do? Was he suspended for having a relationship with a subordinate? Yes or no? Yes. Great. Why does that predicate him from having a job in Brooklyn?
Right.
Is it something worse? Yes. Okay, then. We'll go from there. But right now, what we know, this looks damn near stupid.
Yeah. I agree, man. It looks like a complete mess.
From the league,
yeah,
from Brooklyn,
yeah, looks like a complete mess.
Adam Goodell needs to get this thing under control. Yeah, dear Jerry Jones offering advice to Adam Silver right now. What the hell is going on with the NBA?
Even what's his name? Snyder is we're not going that far.
Wasn't there a press conference today?
Advice.
I think there's supposed to be a press conference today of something that has to do with the Washington Commander football team.
So what are the feds having a press conference on?
Man.
Jeez. He was talking all that.
I thought I read that. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it was from one of the fake verified accounts. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't even real.
He was allegedly talking all that talk too. Like he was untouchable. He wasn't going nowhere. Boy.
Maybe they sold it in record time to a motivated buyer on eBay. There's only about 3 or 4 people who get that joke, but like let it marinate. A motivated buyer on eBay. Some of y'all will get it. Y'all will get it.
It's going over their heads.
If you get the reference, hit us in the chat house. Jesse gets the reference. You can get us in the chat house. youtube.com/ESPN1320. I don't like predicting records, but I understand why you feel the way that you do, and I 100% agree with you. They need to start playing better at home. And we keep
opponents
talking.
Don't even matter.
Well, that's the thing, though. We keep talking about the schedule. When is it supposed to get easy?
Never. That's what I always think.
That's
it
what I'm
never gets
saying.
easy. It's the NBA.
At some point, this team is gonna have to beat a good team.
Yeah.
Because there's no, whoo, we got him.
Plus, you know how I feel about the NBA. We just saw Orlando.
Yeah, right.
The schedule never gonna be easy.
Yeah.
It's the NBA. The NBA is tough.
Yeah.
Right now, especially at the beginning of the season. These teams are good. There's a bunch of talent in this league. And schedule's never getting easy, ever. Just get that out your head now. It's always going to be a tough game right around the corner.
And there's a tough game tonight, the Sacramento Kings and the Cleveland Cavaliers. We'll talk more about that. NBA expansion on the horizon, ? Plus, Coach David Patrick, head coach of Sac State men's basketball. He joins us in about 30 minutes here on Sacramento's sports leader, ESPN 1320.
We going early today. Hold on. Oh, that Brittany Griner stuff. The more I think about it, the more I think you're right. That is terrifying.
It's awful.
That's terrifying.
Awful. Oh, man. Let it just take him out. Terrible. Oh, man. Gets easy when you don't take 40-plus three-point attempts. Oh, come on, William. I said, William, you're just full of dumbass takes, man. Strongly disagree. Like, who they work the ball through Sabonis. Those most of, not all, most of those three-point attempts aren't forced. Thank you, Sydney Dean. Sydney! Indeed. Michael, you should never sell your condo. I think I saw that episode yesterday when I flipped on the TV before watching wall-to-wall election coverage. It was there. Yeah, actually, the note that KC has, it's actually very, 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 very different vibes. Very, very different vibes. You guys going to any high school football games Friday? It's a good question, Russ. That's a good question that I don't have an answer to right now. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Ticket wise? Okay. Got you. I really hate our email system. It's impossible to navigate here.
I don't know why this thing just won't ever click on. This is pissing me off. And if there's one thing you don't want to do, it's piss me off.
I didn't see that yet. I actually just started that series last night. I crashed really, really early last night, like even early for me. And I was trying to make my way through some of those episodes. I got through the Memphis one, which was, I don't know. I don't really love the format so far. Like just Jerry and Jeff and the other Jerry just sitting around. I don't know that I love The Rock, but I don't know that I'm feeling this. But I'm gonna give it a shot. I didn't love the Memphis episode. I watched a little bit of Kaufman and Lawler. I'll make my way through it, but I didn't get to see this one yet. Dr. David, how was it? Yeah, cause just whatever you think is like worth using. He said it was really good, and it was like, if we want to use them, we can. So yeah, no, yeah, they're for us. They're for us. Sorry, they're for us. Hey, good call, Russell. A friendly reminder that Brett Favre should be serving time in prison. That is, in fact, why don't you send
Lock
him
up.
to where whatever the Russian people have done with Brittany Griner? Why don't we trade? Why don't we trade
There you go.
Brett Favre for Brittany Griner? You can
want
have
it?
Brett Favre, do with him what you will.
Give you Brett Favre in a first-round pick.
I guarantee you there will be far more people upset that you have Brett Favre than you have Brittany Griner. So if you really want to piss off America, just take Brett Favre. Y'all can have him. Do whatever you want with him. I see you, Dr. David. I'll work my way through it. When I saw, this is the format for the show, huh? All right. I was expecting something a little closer to Dark Side of the Ring.
We're back here. D-Lo and KC, ESPN 1320. I was chuckling because during the break, you were talking about like some of the things that this wrestling,
The trade I proposed? Oh,
the wrestling documentary
Yeah,
that you watched. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, there's no NBA on last night. What the hell did I watch? I watched like election coverage, right?
Mhm.
And half of the stuff, I'm not gonna lie to you, like it was like, well, okay, this don't have a whole lot to do with me. Saw the guy in Pennsylvania who beat Dr. Oz. I didn't know Dr. Oz was running.
Yeah.
Said what?
Yeah.
And he was endorsed by
Oh yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. But yeah, so I was just laughing because me and Jazz were getting a kick
Because the
out of-
people of Georgia? Were you laughing at the people of Georgia? I got to give those people in Georgia credit, man. You talk about equal opportunity employment, nearly 2 million people voted for a brain dead ex-football player.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
let's
if you're-
not
if
get
you're-
into
if you're a
Stacey
company-
Abrams situation either. Let's not get into that because I saw who voted for who.
But that's always the case. It's the same thing
We alone,
all of the
bro.
time.
We alone. We are alone.
I'm away.
If people had any type of like thoughts about it, we're alone. Goddamn, there are no allies out here.
Mhm. Not there. Not in Georgia.
No. But on a
Herschel Walker can't say his ABCs, but y'all gonna have him run Georgia
it's crazy.
just because a black dude stood up there and said, "I hate black people."
It's crazy. Jeez.
Is why.
Man, oh man.
Sometimes I look at this stuff election night. I'm just reminded this dumbass country gets what it deserves.
Mm.
Like, y'all, this is like, this isn't who we are, huh? It is.
Exactly.
This
what
is
it
exactly
This
who
is a mirror.
This is exactly
You are
what this
looking at
country is.
what you are.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
what it is.
We are who you thought you were. God bless you, Denny Green. Ain't nobody letting us off
Ain't
the hook.
nobody that's off the hook. But on a lighter note, like I was watching some of the election coverage or whatever, and they would go to like these, like, oh, let's go to such and such headquarters or whatever. And I was just always getting a kick out of they would go like on CBS or ABC or something like that to the coverage, and they're at these election parties, and one of them specifically in Detroit, just blasting Beyonce Diva in the background. Just blasting the whole damn song. And I'm just dying. They're trying to report over this Beyonce that's blaring in the background. And I was tickled by that. I was dying.
That is tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. Why does everybody count so slow, too? 72% of the votes from Arizona are in. 72? 72? Can y'all hire some more people to count? What is taking you guys so long?
Oh, that's part of the problem, right? Aren't these people working voluntarily?
You
You better pay me.
Georgia
rush me,
Georgia's had 99% of the vote in for like 5 hours.
bro.
They just can't knock that last 1% out. They just can't get there. Are there any more? Dude, the Herschel Walker tweets last night were just marvelous. Like, someone
Man.
said Herschel Walker going to lose by 1 vote because on his ballot he wrote me. Someone said at some point over the next couple hours, Herschel Walker is going to ask, am I the red or the blue?
No, the guy's got no brain cells left. And
the sad part is that's not funny.
No, it's not.
That man doesn't have a brain cell left. It's not funny.
It's all sad
but
and ridiculous.
Georgia legit said, oh, bless his heart. You can run this state.
We alone out here in this world, man. Alone. One man wolf pack. One man, one woman wolf pack out here.
I'm just going to hit this button.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
I tell you, Georgia don't get the performer of the night, boy. I tell you that.
Don't.
The Ceiling is the Roof performance of the night brought to you by ACR Solar. Call 916-481-7200 to set your appointment. Find out if solar is right for you. Again, 916-481-7200. It ain't Georgia, but Georgetown.
Wow.
Patrick Ewing.
It happened.
Man.
It happened.
You think we're getting a little too excited over this, though?
It's a little big league.
Man, I think there's probably a discussion that needs to be had about the good brother Patrick Ewing. They snapped a 21-game losing streak.
Come on, man. Come on. They only played like 22 games in college. Come on.
A 21-game losing streak by beating Coppin State.
I didn't know
in overtime.
Yeah. I didn't know it was that bad for my man Pat Ewing.
Remember when it was like, how come Patrick Ewing isn't in the NBA? Well, we might have our answer.
I didn't know it was that bad. 21 straight losses for Patrick Ewing at Georgetown.
I don't know.
We're old enough to remember.
Yeah.
Georgetown is there's an argument to be made. Georgetown should be just like Duke. It's like a private institution that's not, that is turned into a basketball power. That's what it was for the 80s and the 90s, a basketball power. Everybody that's out there right now that's a little too young to remember. Imagine if Duke lost 21 straight games.
Crazy.
That's where Georgetown was for us growing up, and they lost 21 straight.
Aldrin J asking, why are y'all celebrating this? Georgetown should not lose 21 games in a row.
Not lying.
You're right. Small victories, man.
Got to crawl before you walk.
Casey just said we alone. We got to, if we don't celebrate Patrick Ewing, man, it's very clear nobody is. Oh, man.
Damn. And the Coppin State. It ain't like they knocked off Florida State.
I knew they weren't good, but I didn't know that.
And I remember one of the things is he got my boy Max McClung coming out of high school, and he was like this big recruit. Max McClung left in like a year.
Remind me when we get Coach Patrick on the phone. Y'all should have scheduled Georgetown. That was y'all wanted a big program.
Hey, they could have pulled a power move on Georgetown. Y'all got to come to the nest. Y'all done lost 21 straight. Y'all got to come to the nest.
Come to think about it, this is a loser leaves town match. So we're switching spots if we get this win.
Yeah, Sac State in the Big East.
The Big East. Yeah.
That's how things go.
That makes as much sense as the rest of the NCAA and big conferences do.
That's how things go right now.
I mean, where's UCLA now?
The Big Ten.
There you go.
I saw
Michigan and Ohio State on the schedule, along with Wisconsin.
I saw like a tweet or something like that. And I think one of the weeks it's coming up, it's UCLA versus UCLA versus USC and Utah versus Oregon. And somebody had made a comment. It was like a random Twitter person. And they were talking about the schedule. They had times to be determined. And they go, because I think they were like Washington fans. They're like, no way they put the defectors on at prime time. The Pac-12 is mad, calling them the defectors.
The
and like,
defectors.
sure enough, they're probably gonna be prime time for the Pac-12 as long as they're there. That's insane.
Tremendous.
I need to go sit down in front of Stacey's office until they change UCLA and USC's decision to leave the Pac-12.
Stacey who?
Our boss.
What's that going to do?
I don't know. Just
why are you itching to sit in front of Stacey's office?
Stacey know people in high places. She could be like, look, man, we can't have this.
Okay. I think PDX is in Stacey's office. Go ahead, go sit right there. PDX sitting in that. So this is what you idiots do when I'm not here, huh? This is what you idiots do every day.
I was telling you, it's
All
like
right.
that episode of Growing Pains.
Yes.
I think I talked about it before.
Show me that smile again.
Where the little daughter, she's like, why do I have to go to sleep early? It's like, because that's what little kids do. So they're like, look, and she's like, no, there's probably, you guys have so much fun whenever I go to sleep. She's like, we do not. Like, we sit around, watch TV, then we go to sleep to ourselves. It's like, just to prove it to you, tomorrow you can stay up till midnight to show like there's nothing that goes on. And like a TV sitcom, the next night, like an elephant came into the room, the circus was there, they had a party, an after party that came through. She's like, you guys have been lying to me this whole time. You guys do have fun when I leave. That's what PDX is.
Just to be clear, this is on Growing Pains?
Yeah.
Okay.
With Alan Payne, right?
No, that's not Alan Payne. That's Alan Thicke.
Alan Thicke.
Alan Payne.
No, not G.
You want to see Alan Payne? I'll show you Alan Payne.
Not G Money.
Hey, Alan Payne getting
Alan
capped
Thicke.
at the end of New Jack City talking about he on Growing Pains.
Alan Thicke, not Alan.
You got your
Payne.
cultures mixed up there, pal. Man.
No, G Money was not on Growing Pains. That's right.
How has Alan Payne come up 2 times in the last 2 days on this show?
When did he come up yesterday?
His hairy ass on Jason's lyric. That's how it came up yesterday. That terrible love scene from Jason's lyric. The worst love scene ever. Like, no.
Well, speak for yourself.
Well,
Jada was there.
she was. I don't know. Boys in the Hood was better. Come on.
Which one?
Nia.
No. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a toss up. And if we're going in the totality,
Do you remember the first love scene you saw on TV?
I might have been Boys in the Hood. My mom took me to go see Boys in the Hood. I was 7 or so. And I just remember her covering my eyes.
Wait, you saw Boys in the Hood in the theater?
I saw it in the theater.
Damn,
Yeah.
Shell and El Grove ain't no
She was like,
joke.
you about to learn.
I think mine was.
her own self.
I think mine was Top Gun.
Yeah.
Like, why is
I've-
everything blue?
I've never
Is that
seen
what
Top
happens
Gun.
when you have sex? Everything turns blue. Why is everything blue like this?
I've never seen Top Gun.
Word?
Yeah. I wanted to. I saw something the other day. I wanted to watch Maverick
Oh, Maverick is
because
really
everybody
good.
saw it, says it's
so
like really good.
I don't think you have to watch the first one, but I think it's much more enjoyable having knowing that. I love Top Gun growing up.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
I love the ride. That's all I knew about Top Gun.
I don't think I ever wrote
Did
it.
you see Raging Waters is closing?
Raging Waters.
The thing at Cal Expo. They used to be like
Waterworld. Yeah.
Waterworld.
I gotta be honest, I assumed it closed years ago.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there anyway. Still should be closed. Let's give us the option.
Publicly sharing water has a very different vibe post March 2020.
Yeah.
It was probably really, really gross in March of 2019. It feels significantly worse since March of 2020.
Let me ask you this. I think I know the answer too. If you go to Legoland, you're not going down the Lazy River?
Probably not.
Yeah, the Lazy River's pretty cool.
I don't know. I've never been to Legoland.
Legoland's actually pretty cool. But they
You know
have
what?
a
I
water
see
park
those
in there.
people in Vegas who like they party but it's like ankle deep water.
The
Oh,
day
that looks
parties.
grotesque.
There's
It
like
looks terrible.
a
It's just
trillion people in the pool.
It's just people's feet in the water. Like it's like 5,000 feet in the water, and y'all just standing around here drinking, taking pictures. Y'all are nasty.
I take it you wouldn't go to that. We'll talk about this later, or we can talk about now. Don't matter. Since we have to go there, since we have to go, we can't do it here. Would you go to the Circa in Vegas with the big old pool sports book? But I think you get your own isolated section of a pool.
If I get
not the
my
same
own
way.
pool, yes.
Yeah, I
If
think you
you're
get your
springing
own
for me to
isolated.
get my own pool, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not getting in the community pool. I am not sharing a body of water with you unless it's an ocean.
So-
I'm just not doing it. Those I can guarantee you that's over. Them days is over. Like I'm a grown ass man.
The Lazy River is pretty cool though.
Okay,
I don't
you
know.
can have it.
I'm not really big on water parks anyway, but Lazy River, that's more my speed. Where it's just getting a little floaty and you float on. Not going too fast, nothing crazy.
It sounds very enjoyable. And if me and my loved ones were the only ones in it, great. But I don't know what your nasty ass has been doing, and I ain't going to float down the river with you.
I understand.
You're listening to D-Lo and KC on KIFM, West Sacramento, KRXQ HD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320, driven by Lashers, Elk Grove, Dodge, always live on the free Odyssey app. Let's get our brother Sean in here. Sean, what's happening, my man?
Yo, my brothers from another mother. Shout out Jesse behind the boys.
Yes, sir.
Man, fella, first of all, man, what is there a special occasion going on tonight? Y'all look like y'all both getting ready to go get your senior balls or something, man. It's not the usual D-Lo and KC garb today, man.
I don't know why y'all so shocked. We fine.
This is
like,
what we
I don't
do.
know what to tell you. Like, hey.
We came out the house looking so damn fine.
Hold on. I got the audio. Y'all gonna see this on Instagram. This is my. I was like, as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh yeah, we doing.
You could go outside looking as good as you look, looking all nice and sexy the way you looking going outside.
That's it. Yeah. I don't know why y'all surprised.
Man, we just out here, Sean. This is what we do from time to time. You know, it's not always jeans and hoodies. You know, sometimes we can switch it up. We switch it up.
I see y'all, man. I was gonna ask if y'all had like a special Wednesday service y'all had to attend or a funeral, but that's my bad. Y'all just keep it super fly like that, y'all.
Just trying to be like you, man.
Church,
that's all we're trying to do.
Come on.
So, man, I hate to break up the happy mood, but I had to ask, man. I haven't really seen too much in local media, but do y'all feel like the Kings should be making a bigger deal about these last 2-minute blown calls, man, between the Hero travel, the Steph travel, the foul 3 times in one shot on my man Ware to the other day? Like, I kind of feel like the Kings should be pushing this line real hard with the NBA right now, start getting better calls in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had to ask a real quick off the rails question if y'all will let me, man.
Always. We love it.
So, y'all was talking about Adam Sandler earlier. My man D-Lo was talking about doing the announcement for DL Hughley and his triple XL tall tee. What is the best live show y'all have caught in Sac? For my money, it's Cat Williams in the early 2000s Wows when he was up there with Melody Camacho and Lunel. But I'll take it off the air. Y'all keep it real peasy, though.
The best live comedy show I've seen in the city. Man. I don't know. I haven't seen. I was there the night Chappelle Shane smoked at the Memorial Auditorium and walked off because someone yelled, "I'm Rick James, bitch," over and over and over again. I was there the night Chappelle did an unannounced visit to the Punchline. I don't know. That DL it may be a little sentimental to it. That DL show was good. Like I'll never forget it. Obviously, for a variety of reasons, I'll never forget it. I remember the most because it was that time. Bobby was there, Jackson.
Oh snap!
With I think Chris was there, front row, and DL's hey, Kings are here. Bobby Jackson, yo, Bobby. When are you gonna start? I think Mike was there, but I don't know for sure. And of course, he asked Bobby when he's gonna start, and the crowd pops huge. And it's just if you weren't there, you weren't there. That's the strength Bobby had. And this is DL Hughley,
right? And
it's not like DL of today, but he wasn't no sucker in 2000.
Absolutely not.
5 or 4 or whatever it was.
That's Kings of Comedy.
Probably after.
That's what I'm saying.
After Kings of Comedy. Yeah.
He wanted the goats out there at that point. So yeah, that's major. I'm trying to think. I haven't seen a lot of comedy shows just in general.
I've seen so many.
Definitely not a whole lot here.
You know who was really funny, man? Charlie Murphy was really funny.
Oh, I could imagine.
Charlie Murphy was really funny.
I could imagine. Yeah, he's like the way he talks was funny, right? Like that was comedy in itself, and the way he tells a story is dope. The first thing that comes to mind, and this is cheating a little bit, but I saw Jamie Foxx in Oakland on New Year's Eve. Me and the Queen Bee when he did a comedy and then his music right after. That was pretty cool. That was a good way to bring in a new year. But that's one of the only comedy shows I really see. Oh, you know who was really fun? I think we've talked about this before. Who I did see at the Punchline. Punchline's in Rancho, right?
Punchlines by Arden.
What's
Rancho is it's not the Laugh Factory. What is that called? No, I don't remember what it's called, but I know exactly what it's by the old spaghetti factory.
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell is that place called? Chatty House will let us know.
Tony Rock.
Tony Rock is very, very funny.
In stitches.
Yeah, Tony Rock is very funny.
The whole time.
Tommy T's. Yeah.
Tony Rock.
Very funny.
I was dying with Tony Rock the entire time. Like, and it's funny to see those type of things because no shade to like the people that come on under, somebody like a Tony Rock. They're funny, but you see the
progression,
the difference between the two. Like he is, and he's not even like probably considered like the super great comedian, but that was the big league.
That's why Ari Spears threw out Mikey Winfield because he was funnier than he was. You can't have your opener funnier than you. Shout out Mikey Winfield, who's just one of the funniest dudes on the planet.
Did he win America's Got
I don't think so.
I think I would have heard that if he would.
Yeah, I don't.
That's the finals though. That's dope.
Yeah, that's really dope. That's amazing. That dude has been busting his ass for years upon years. I don't know why we haven't had. I don't know why he's not on the show. I don't even know where he at no more. I used to always know where Mikey was. I don't know where Mikey at no more.
Well, Mikey got to pull up on us, man.
The other part of what Sean asked about essentially being angrier about missed calls. I mean, we said, I don't know that Mike's mixtape part 2 is going to have an effect. I don't know that the first one didn't. And at some point, and it kind of sounds like we're kidding. You got to turn the table over.
Yeah.
You've got to show out a little bit. And that's not Mike's style. I understand that. Mike is a polite dude with great respect for the league.
Yeah.
And I honestly think he's venting frustration rather than trying to get an overall message to the league. And I think if the point ever came to where Mike really did want to get a message across the league, we would know it and we would hear a difference in his delivery. Hopefully we don't have to, but I doubt 9 games into the season, the last bad call against the Sacramento Kings is behind us.
And look, here's how I look at this situation. There's one or two things that need to happen. And these are the only 2 things that need to happen. If you're in this situation again, like tonight or in the next 7 days, you either flip the table over, right? Like that's how you got to do it. Flip the table over, move some furniture, or you don't say anything at all. Because now if you like say it like he has been, like, man, it sucks to be a king or whatever.
Yeah.
Number one, it kind of comes off as a little whiny now. You know what I mean? Because whether you're right or not, other people have seen it, right? Your bar stools, it's out there. Like people are aware. Stan Van Gundy was talking about it yesterday. So we all see it. We don't need to continue to go over. It's gotten recognition for it. If it happens again, also you're sending a message to your team of, like, if it happened tonight, for instance, I would probably expect Mike, if he doesn't flip the table over, to say, you know what you talk about. Yeah, it sucks, another missed call, but we can't let the game get here. It's obvious we can't let the game get here. We can't leave it in the hands of the officials or any kind of crazy play. We have to play better. And I think that should be the message if they find themselves in this situation again.
But
more so, we've got to do some stuff to not even be in this situation.
So to me, that has to be the message to the team. We can't keep putting ourselves in this position. If we're up 5 with 30 or 7 with 2 minutes, we've got to close these games out and not give the officials an opportunity to do this. That has to be the message in the locker room. The message in front of the camera, to me, can be very, very different because those guys, De'Aaron and Domas and Davion and Harrison and TD and everyone else in the Kings jersey and the Kings uniform or in a Kings, quarter zip or whatever they're wearing that day. They hear that message. That's the message they take to heart with them to practice and to the next game. In front of the public, though, Mike can turn out. And if Mike don't want to do it, send Doug to do it.
Well, he's got to turn out.
Somebody's got to do it.
It can't be the little nice
It can't
thing
be.
no more.
It can't be.
Like I said, it's either two ways to go about it.
But keep your
You go
message
off,
to your team
consistent.
Yes.
And where it is.
That's it.
There's only one or two ways to go about it. You either go off, go off, or you don't say anything. We can't. I wouldn't have. I'm not going to say what somebody should do or nothing. I wouldn't do the, I guess they just don't like us. It's tough being a kid. I wouldn't. That was fine on Monday. Next time, there's going to be some consequences or repercussions, or I'm not going to say anything.
We're going to talk with Coach David Patrick when we return. Anxious to hear how he feels Sac State's game against UCLA went. We obviously have our feelings about it. We talked about it yesterday. So we'll talk to the Coach David Patrick. We could even talk to him about stuff like this as a coach. How do you convey one message to your team while maybe you're trying to convey another message to the public? And we'll do that when we talk with Coach David Patrick of Sac State when we return here on Sacramento's Sports Leader, your local sports leader, ESPN 1320.
Radio gods.
Bitch ass dude said your local sports leader. By the way, shout out to the people who steal our show content and put it on Twitter as if it's theirs. You don't know? Y'all the one who monitor his account on a daily basis. Your boy.
What, today?
Tweeting about DeMarcus. Like you're such a bitch. Like you just sit around and watch this show and pull what we talk about and put it on your Twitter account. Like, yo, how many times are you going to do this? I guess when no one listens to you, I guess that's what you could do. But good God, man. When y'all realize what a fraud that dude is, you'll feel better about it. And go ahead, clip this, send it to him. Do what you do. It don't bother me. I'll tell him to his face. Dude been stealing shit for years. If he was a comedian, he'd be a hack. That's what they'd call him, a fucking hack. No need. It's dangerous over there. Don't go over there. Yeah, you're paying them. What are you talking about?
Facts.
Like that cost you money. Okay. Okay. So we'll do the sack. Oh, what? Oh no! What's this mean? Armstead has a stress reaction, hairline fracture of his left fibula.
He might not come back this year.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. I missed Jennifer Lee Chan's tweet about this earlier this week, I guess. So is he? Oh yeah, that was from yesterday. So, oh man, damn, that's a big loss.
It is.
That doesn't sound like something you're coming back from. So I'm going to mention the Sac State stuff here, and then we'll do Kings stuff later. Okay. No problem. No, we can't have two phone throwers here. Come on now. I'll let y'all know we're gonna have Kings tickets coming up here shortly. Probably do that in the 2:00 hour. I want to mention right out of the break. This shoot, did I lose it? Where did it go? Gosh dang it. What's that, Jesse? Okay. Here we go.
Early in the morning, late at night. It don't even matter what time it is.
49ers need to go get Ndamukong Suh. Is Ndamukong Suh not in the league?
Did he play for the Bucks last year? Yeah.
Oh, Jay, you funny.
I done traveled around the world.
There's no beef, man. I just don't like him. It's not beef. I just don't like the dude.
Corners of the Culture coming out tomorrow.
It's facts.
Damien came on and said, I'm gonna tell you why you ain't shit.
That actually has a good tie-in. That's a good tie-in. Oh, there it is, November 19th. Okay, got it.
Okay, TC. We'll see.
All right. TC awfully optimistic about his squad, though.
He definitely doesn't feel about the Kings the way he does about Kyle Shanahan.
He does not. Bro, I'm gonna tell you, bro. Kyle gotta go.
Bro,
Kyle gotta go, bro. Kyle gotta go.
Speaking of, you see the Sunday night games coming up are trash. There's a chance Miami versus the Niners can get flexed.
Ooh, let me see what it is that week.
What week is that?
That's like 3 weeks from now.
December 4th.
December 4th, Sean Carter's birthday.
Live on the Odyssey app, Coach David Patrick set to join us here in just a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, you want to check out the Causeway Classic coming up November 19th. Sac State has got you a chance to win tickets. Text STINGER to 916-999-9293 for a chance to win 4 tickets to that game. Again, the Causeway Classic coming up November 19th. 2 p.m. kickoff. Number 2 ranked Sac State Hornets host UC Davis. Text STINGER to 916-999-9293. I say it slow because that's a lot of nines right there.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm going to give out a number with like 11 digits to it. Like, D-Lo, the number didn't work. I text STINGER, but the number didn't work. Got to say those numbers slow.
Yeah, there's a lot of nines there. But that's a good job by you.
I appreciate it, man.
Jesse
appreciate it.
Just dropped a bomb on us, Gap Band, talking about a little football, 49ers and Dolphins on December 4th. He was talking about could be flex. I'm looking at the game right now. The only reason why it might not be flexed is because the Cowboys are playing.
Who did the Cowboys play?
They play the Colts.
So we're yearning to get Jeff Saturday into prime time, huh?
Didn't they flex the Cowboys out last year?
But
wasn't it the Cowboys 49ers that they flexed
That was
out?
2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But they did. But part of that was the Cowboys weren't good.
Yeah.
I think they both stunk.
So you think they do it if
they
the Cowboys?
should.
Yeah.
They should. I mean, Dolphins, if the Niners win their next
I was going to say
3
the
games in a
49ers
row or
win a
whatever,
couple. Yeah.
and the Dolphins are still who they are, they should. That's like the best game that weekend. You got Kansas City, Cincinnati. What other games they got? Yeah, there's
storylines for that game too. Mike McDaniel back, Jeff Wilson. I mean, we're basically the Miami 49ers right now.
Facts. Tennessee, Philly is that week. Maybe that gets there. Yeah, but I don't know. They're not getting rid of the Cowboys. A good Cowboys team, are they? They could be playing the Blind Sisters of the Poor, and they still have the Cowboys on.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible.
It is. I mean, the Colts are really bad. Colts are really
does
really
it?
bad.
I don't know how deep you are into this. How does it say where the game is?
It's
Is
in
it
Dallas.
I mean, is it on Fox or CBS?
The Niners game?
No. The The Cowboys game.
It's on NBC. It's Sunday night.
Oh, you're saying flexed out.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one flexed out. Oh, that game ain't going. They ain't gonna flex the Cowboys out if
That's
they're
what
winning.
I'm saying. It's the
Oh,
Cowboys.
I thought there was. I misunderstood.
No,
Yeah, I don't think they're flexing the
the
Cowboys
Sunday
out.
game is Colts Cowboys.
Yeah, I still think they put the. I still think they put the.
I'll
I
send-
know.
I'll send the
I know
email to
you want
Roger.
this, Jesse.
I'll send the email to Roger. No worries.
That's a good idea. Is there any chance Coach Patrick doesn't like us anymore?
No, that's our guy. He loves us.
Did he say? They say today, right?
I thought so.
All right. That's all right. That's all right.
You know, practice.
He might be listening to NWA right now. Could have been a bad day. If Coach is listening to NWA, man, that's all right. We need the mic. We need the Anita Baker version. We need the
get that Kitty Lattimore.
We
on.
need the new edition version of Coach Patrick. Sacramento Kings take on a very tough 8-2 Cleveland Cavaliers team tonight at the Golden One Center. A matchup nightmare in my estimation for the Sacramento Kings. But as Kenny said and laid out beautifully, they've got a lot. By the way, all those games that we talked about earlier, the next stretch of game, it's every other day.
Yeah,
they're playing every other day for the next week and some change.
Yeah. When do they get 2 days off again?
Is it after the San Antonio game on the 17th?
It might be. Let me see. Let me pull this up. See it on a calendar. But yeah, like you said, it's every other day. Luckily, there's really no travel. You go to LA on Friday.
It is that game. They have the Friday the 18th, Saturday the 19th, no games, and then they have the Detroit 3:00 game on Sunday.
Yeah. So okay, you got.
Marvin might be here for that. By the way,
he ain't gonna be here for that.
Oh, okay, that felt harsh.
The injury was I think 4 to 6 weeks. No, it might have been like 3 to 4 weeks. He heard it the last week before the season started. Technically, I think it'd be 5 weeks from the injury. He ain't gonna be here.
Man,
he ain't gonna be here. And he definitely,
I thought
he definitely ain't gonna like. And I really don't mean this as shade, but this is just what he's shown us. He ain't gonna bust it in rehab to get back for the Kings.
Man,
that ain't happening.
Okay,
he gonna push that off a year.
All right.
You think Big Marv would be in attendance if he was here?
Here?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
These boys got rid of their Twitter.
Yeah, they did. Well, I think a lot of people are going to
If you weren't
rid of their Twitter.
If you weren't going to say nothing nice, then that was a good thing to do.
Looking at Hoops Hype right now, DeMarcus said on Twitter today, would love to help the Kings get back to the playoffs.
Deuce said earlier today, it's like an annual tradition since like 2019. the conversation we have here in Sacramento about DeMarcus coming back. I'm all for it. Come on, man.
His fan base.
Come on.
I'm telling you, like DeMarcus Cousins, like there's a lot of people in this fan base, a lot who love that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Put all that aside. Look at what the Kings are lacking right now. Look at what you need. And if you can get past the idea of DeMarcus being a 28-9 guy, if you can get past the idea of him being what he was the first time he was here, give me one reason why it can't be DeMarcus Cousins.
I can't give you one.
To me, like the fact that the Kings need what they need and DeMarcus is available and Dwight, you can't get Dwight Howard out of Taiwan.
Seriously.
These dudes to play 30 minutes a night. It's not what we're talking about.
And they seem to accept whatever possible role, maybe bench role, backup big, whatever. We've seen DeMarcus do that. DeMarcus did that with the Nuggets.
I like DeMarcus, man. There's no he's not going to have the same sway and influence that he might have had in locker rooms past. I think he'd be a great piece here. Basketball wise, he fits.
I agree.
That's what it boils down to.
I agree.
Basketball wise, he fits, just as Coach David Patrick fits with us. Coach Patrick, we appreciate you being with us. after making the trip back from UCLA. Now, we've got our feelings on how your opener against UCLA went, but you told us last week, Coach, that you wanted them to play well and you wanted them to execute. How do you feel your squad did against the number 7th ranked team in the country?
Look, thanks for having me on the show again. I felt like we competed. I thought we competed and laid it on the line. Maybe the execution on offense wasn't the way I wanted it to be. You know, I think UCLA did a good job after I thought we surprised them early on. The first probably 8 minutes of the game, they turned up the heat in the second half, and we didn't take care of the ball the way I wanted them to. But I thought for the most part, we competed from start to finish.
Now, I will say this. I'm going to get back to the game, but you know how we do here on D-Lo and KC. Coach, we always checking on, on what the attire is, what's going on. I've been an advocate. I've been very upset with the NBA, with college basketball, and them allowing these coaches and look, I understand sometimes you're going to be comfortable, but they be in their sweats and the shooting shirt and stuff. I'm like, look, man, I come from the era where Pat Riley had the $3,000 Armani suit on. Like, that's what I wanted to see. And I saw Coach Patrick on Monday night, nice little blazer, nice little button up. He's looking real smooth. I appreciated that, Coach. I did. I appreciated that.
No, look, I told my staff we're going to open the night. We're going to wear suits, and two, out of respect to Coach Wooden and all the legacy at UCLA, I didn't want us to go out there and come out there half stepping. So one to at least represent the city and pay respect, to UCLA and all the tradition there.
That wasn't a regular blazer either.
No, it wasn't.
That wasn't a regular blazer.
It wasn't.
That's not just one you go, oh, I'm gonna get this one. No, that was a special.
He didn't go to Burlington.
No,
he didn't go to Burlington for that one. No.
No, not for that one. Not for that one. I don't have too much green and gold in my class. That was my first month check right there.
You look good though, Coach. You look good. And I thought, much like Damian said, I thought the team looked good. I thought they performed really well. There was a rough stretch in there that kind of allowed UCLA to open the game up, but that's really kind of it. Like a lot of the other times you played them even or close to it, or preparing to put yourself in a position to be close late. I thought they played pretty well. I know there's obviously a lot of different things that you went over the tape and saw, like, hey, we can do this better, we can be better here, things of that nature. But I thought it was a solid performance.
Look, for me, you've been in practice, so the rebounding is like key to me, and UCLA is a top 5 team in the country rebounding. So to be able to out rebound that team, to be able to get 16 offensive rebounds against them, for my guys, when I go back and look at the box score, it's like, okay, you competed, you did what I've asked you to do. Now we can go back and fine tune because we can't, emulate the pressure that they put on us in practice. Because Tiger Campbell, Jaime Jaquez, two All-Americans, the kid Clark, the way he guards defensively, it's just hard to simulate that in practice. And so there's some stuff now we can go back to the drawing board and say, if we're ever blessed enough to be in that situation again, to play a UCLA type, now we're prepared for it. Because that environment, the opening night, that's hard to prepare for in the nest than going down there to Paulie and seeing it up close and personal.
Yeah.
Was there a wide-eyed moment for your squad when they took the floor that night? I mean, Bill Walton was on the call. Like it felt like, it felt like a big deal even for us watching on TV.
Look, I think it was, the one thing I would say is I thought we started off the game well. Usually you're in a hole to start the game. I think we matched their physicality to start the game. We had the fortunate of Bill Walton speaking to the team before the practice on Sunday, so we had a chance to speak to them and kind of tell them his legacy and his time at UCLA. So that kind of helped, and you guys are getting to know me, but I wanted them to go out there and play loose. Obviously, play with the edge, but play loose. I tried to make the environment. It's already high intensity in there. I wanted them to be out there loose and play hard. So I was pleased the way we came out. Just wasn't pleased the way we probably dipped there for about that 20-0 run.
They just fell in love with the number 16. They were like, oh, man, I love this girl. I ain't never going to leave her. This is number 16. He's going to stay around here for a while.
It's stuck on 16.
Who you telling, man? For a minute, man. For a minute. Yeah.
Hey, Coach, how was Bill Walton, man? I'm a Bill Walton fan. I think he's hilarious on the broadcast. Obviously, one of the great players in the history of college basketball. And I thought it was pretty cool. I know he works for the Pac-12 network. But he's a UCLA guy, but it seemed like he took the time out to, have some words for Sac State. I thought that was pretty cool. How'd that come about?
I think it was awesome, man. And you guys are in the media. Like the research he does at his age. He called me and spoke to me for an hour, like 2 weeks ago, to get my background and get our team's background. He then came and spent another 20 minutes with me the night before the game, and then spent time with the team. So he got to know each player, got to know everyone's story, and somehow he was able to remember it by writing it down. He's writing it down with a calligraphy pen. People don't even know what that is anymore. His notes, you know what I'm saying? So my hat's off to him at his age to be able to pour into the game like he did. I think was great for us and great for the university.
Coach, is easy for you guys? I mean, how long do you focus on the UCLA game? I mean, you're back on the floor on Saturday. How much time do you spend on what happened before you start moving forward?
Look, we'll spend some more time today, this afternoon, and kind of whether we win or lose, we call it get better. Like whether you win or lose, I think there's lessons to learn out of every game, out of every practice. So we'll do our get better film today, kind of close that chapter on UCLA, and then focus on UC San Diego, which is Saturday. But we won't get behind this game until about 5:30 today. Then they can move on to UCSD because we got to learn, and get better.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, just to let you know, I've been doing some advanced scouting. You know what I'm saying? I was watching Seattle on UC San Diego. You know what I'm saying? This guy Pope, he can play a little bit, but I think if you trap him on the pick and rolls, you can slow him down a little bit. I got you, Coach. Don't worry. I watch all
He's
these
actually
games.
telling.
I watch all these
he's
games.
Over there
Coach.
watching these games.
You on it, man. If we can make a couple threes now, we may have to go out there and shoot some threes because usually we make shots, man. We were 2 for 18. I'm going insane how we couldn't make any shots.
Yeah.
Do you set many goals? Just like, hey, you talked about get better. Do you set a goal like, all right, here's what we need to do better on Saturday, and we start to do more of these things better, we'll be in the place that we want to be as the season progresses.
For sure. Like our game goals are the same, so I'm not giving away secrets. Like we want to out-rebound every team by 5 or more rebounds, which we did against UCLA. We want to have 12 or less turnovers, where we had 21 against UCLA. So that's a no. We want to shoot more free throws or make more free throws than the other team attempts. We did that against UCLA. We made 17. They made 9. So there's some goals that we set, and they're attainable goals rather than say, give them all the stats. They're all attainable goals. And I'll go back and show them on film where here are the turnovers, here are the bad shots, and here's how we got to clean it up. And I think if there's a consistent message, then obviously it'll reign true as the season wears on.
Hey, Coach, how did it feel for you and for the players to finally get out there and get the season started? It's been a long, training camp and getting ready. And, sometimes I know in July and August, it's like, man, the season, November, that's a long time away. And then you're like the night before, like, oh, snap, we're finally here. We're playing games. I bet there was a sense of excitement to finally get the season underway from both you and the players.
I think definitely, especially with this group, got so many transfers, new guys. I'm a new coach. I have a new staff. Like they're getting to know me in game, like how I act in games. Some of them have come from programs where the coach may be on them all the time. I'm typically not that way. I have my way of getting at them. My staff don't know how to interact with me on the bench yet. So there's a lot of learning that goes on. So I think to finally get that game under our belt was great. I think the guys are sick of my voice going against each other every day in practice. So to go out and see what works, what doesn't work under the bright lights and with fans, I think was a blessing and something we look forward to doing a lot more of.
Coach, we know that these visits with us were a lot easier before you started playing games, man. So we appreciate you carving out time for us after the big debut against UCLA. One more quick question before you go. This one about Mike Brown, though, because I think you know Mike a little bit better than we do. And Kenny and I have been talking about this the last couple of days. Could Mike get mad, like just flip a table over? Like, does Mike have that in him? Because he's hey, refs screwed us again. He's very calm in his message that he's frustrated, but he's very calm in delivering it. Could he throw the remote control? Could he get upset?
He can. He can use some 5-letter words, man. You know what I'm saying? So if he needs to, he does. But I kind of emulate some of it. I think if you yell all the time, then I think it doesn't get the message across. Mike has a very good way of poison and getting his points in. Even when I watch him at practice, he gets on them. But I think it's from a calming presence, and then when he does raise that voice, they know what time it is. So I think that's the beauty of having him. They got such a young team. I think he's got a different team. So I think the way he approaches this team and this whole new environment's got to be different for him.
Hey, Coach, how would you approach that situation? Where you feel you're getting the short end of the stick from the refs, but you don't want to like go crazy on them because then you might really not get the calls. But you got to let them know, like, hey, this has to change up a little bit. Like, is it usually like situation to situation? You just kind of feel how you're going to react to it, or do you have like a method to how you go about messing with the refs?
I think I know I think how Mike would do it when you're the Kings where they are at the moment, when you're Sacramento State where we are at the moment, you already know you're not getting the respect, and like so your team knows that you got to go out there and earn it. And I think my little time with Mike, I think he's obviously relayed that to his team, and I've done that to mine. But I think you got to go up there and whisper to him in the ear, like, dude, we are pretty good, man. This ain't the old Sac State, or the old Sacramento Kings. It's a new regime in town, so give us some respect. But I think you got to whisper that to the ref. If you go out there and put your hand up and stomp on the ground, like that ain't working. Not in this day and age.
I got you.
I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna
not yet
on this one.
Not yet.
But as soon as that gangster hit, you do what you got to do. You do what you got to do.
I've got one tech in my coaching career. I got one tech, and I ran out the half court to get it. So I made sure I got it.
You
knew. Hit you with I knew because they hit you with, "Oh, you such a nice guy." No, I ain't, man. Get up as nice guy stuff now. We go. Yeah. So yeah.
Strategic.
I'm ashamed to say I got mine a couple months ago. Coach, I coach 10-year-olds. I got one.
Coaching 10-year-olds, man.
The ref was tripping, bro. That wasn't even me. Man. That was the ref. I didn't use no language, nothing. He was tripping, and he was wrong.
Stubborn coach. Coach, man, we appreciate you to no end. Good luck this weekend. We'll be excited. I think you got 2 games before the next time we talk to you. So hopefully you see that progression that you're hoping for.
For sure, man. Today's signing date. So hopefully next time we talk, we'll have some big key commitments to our program.
That's what's up. We got our eyes peeled, man. We got the Twitter. We got
check
you guys
in, man. Check in.
Look at this Mark on
check in.
Look at
check in, man. Check in. I can't comment legally yet, but check in.
Hey, we'll tap in and report it as soon as it's legal. We appreciate you, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Bigger. All right. Later.
All right, man. Coach. That's our guy. That's our coach, Coach David Patrick, right there, head coach Sac State basketball.
You guys heard it first. Mikey Williams decommitting from Memphis, going to Sac State.
That is not what Coach David Patrick said at all. Did he say Bronny when he hung? Never mind. The number 2 ranked Sac State Hornet football team is hosting UC Davis in the Causeway Classic on November 19th, and Sac State has got tickets for you. Text Stinger. That's right, Stinger to 916-999-9293 for your chance to win 4 tickets. Again, text Stinger to 916-999-9293 for your chance to win 4 tickets.
You making a move out to the Causeway?
Oh yeah.
I think I'm out.
Yeah, that's a given. That's a given.
I'm gonna need you to send a text, I think.
Oh man, I'm getting you out of jail a lot lately, Brody. What?
Well, the interesting thing about is that what time is that? That's a night game.
That's
right?
a 2:00 game.
Oh, it's a 2:00 game.
2. Yep.
Yeah, we'll make that.
That's easy.
Yeah.
She's going to a basketball game. She 9.5 months pregnant, gonna be walking up and down those stairs at the Gold One Center. Like, you can go to a football game for a couple hours. She probably won't even call you when she go into labor. Just leave you a note, honey. I'm at the hospital. I think it's happening. I think the baby to not be named is on its way.
Why didn't you? I forgot to text you. My bad.
It's fine. By the way, your daughter was born. You can come to the hospital and see her.
By the way, that's the day after Reese's birthday. So typically there'd be like a party on Saturday, but we're doing some on Friday.
Okay.
So it'll be all good.
Good stuff. Have to get my nephew something for his birthday.
He's gonna be really hyped now that it's confirmed next week. He been asking me every day. I was like, yo, just maybe now, I don't know, just relax.
Yeah, we bringing some interviews to Corners of the Culture, man. And we got that confirmed right before the show started. So our side piece, Corners of the Culture. Improper use of the term side piece.
Not improper. That's it.
Corners of the Culture available wherever you get podcasts from. Check us out on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, whatever your podcast preference is. Download Corners of the Culture. New episode coming tomorrow, and some different episodes coming moving forward. Thanks again to Coach Patrick and the crew at Sac State for making sure we get to spend some time with Coach Patrick each week. We will step out. We'll reset. Obviously, more to talk about with the Sacramento Kings and the Cleveland Cavaliers. James Ham will be here whenever he wants. Like, he's leaving shoot around and he's coming straight in here. Chris Biderman going to be with us coming up in about 30 minutes. And the latest college football playoff rankings are out. Some stories to be told there, I think. And we'll talk about those. When D'Lo and Casey return here on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320. I don't know why I was waiting for Jesse to say something. I don't know why. That was dumb.
So the guy who hates Kenny's laugh called back again.
Oh,
So
he
you told Kenny to
didn't want to
stop?
be on the show?
I told him, I was like, because I asked him too, because this is the third time. So I was like, hey, is this a bit? Or are you being serious? Like, no, dude, dead ass. He told me, like, he's like, this is why you guys don't get sponsors.
Oh, man.
And he's all, Kenny laughs. It's unprofessional. It's not good. And I was like, oh, do you want to talk about this on the show? Like, no, it's just a suggestion.
I need to know what a professional laugh sounds like. Man. This is why. This is why we can't get sponsored.
Oh, man.
This is why we can't get sponsored.
This poor guy on UC San Diego just missed a wide open dunk, like got hung on the rim.
Did you see that thing that said San Diego State was going to the Pac-12?
I did not see that.
Maybe that was fake.
Was it on Twitter?
Yeah. Like I scrolled past it or whatever, but
That would be it might be fake, but that would still be like the logical thing to do. That would make sense. Let's see.
Dan Patrick was talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, there are reports of it though, because they asked Brady Hoke about it. Yeah, that'd be a good move. San Diego State actually travels pretty good.
The collages here?
Oh, snap. Oh, yeah. That is fire. Hold on, guys.
That came out great.
That is really cool.
That came out great. I think you guys can see it. I think you guys can see it if I... No, you can't. I don't want to mess.
Try James's.
Yeah, you can't really see it. That's our new Kings collage in there. I'll put it on Instagram. At Damian Barling on Instagram. I'll put it on there. It's really dope. We got one for each of the stations. Hang on. Donnie did one for each of the stations. So there's like a Drake one, Metallica, AC/DC.
The Metallica one is dope.
Yeah, that's kind of dope.
On the final product, you made the switch.
Yeah.
We're gonna need let me tell Donnie, we're gonna need a 2023 version with that boy Malik Monk on there. I'm telling you.
There's probably a few more changes we could have made. Probably a few more.
Next time that guy calls in about Kenny's laugh, I'm just gonna put him on the air.
Yeah, Just
He
like,
won't
no,
even
no.
know it. He'll think he's talking to me, but no.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, man, what's up? I'm here now. I'm here now. Whoa. I ain't talking about moving product. What you talking about, man? Don't be putting me in that, Tyler. That's a good call too, Aldrin. They already do a bunch of stuff in Las Vegas as it is. They should go get UNLV.
Oh, okay.
What's popping?
Nope. Should have checked my email before the commercial break. Just got a little note from our friends at Sac State, though. Think they're going to have a good day today.
That's what's up.
Chris Biderman set to join us coming up in about 30 minutes, and James Ham set to join us whenever the hell James Ham wants to.
That's just how he rolls.
Yeah, no doubt. Sacramento Kings take on the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight at the Golden One Center. We'll talk a lot about that as we move forward. Tough matchup for the Sacramento Kings. Of course, they've played well all year. They've had a variety of tough matchups, and I think they've answered the call in virtually every game. Even the Memphis one. I know people look at the Memphis one like that was a blowout, lost by 15 points, which is that's absolutely true. They played really well at the start of that game and through most of the third quarter. I think it was a game I thought they were competing in, and they like, you got to steal this one. You got to get this one, especially when you go back to how the team was playing at that time of the season. I thought they really picked it up in that game. They weren't talented enough to kind of close things out against that squad. It's going to be this is a tough matchup for them. They can't get out to a slow start.
I agree.
They cannot get out to a slow start.
I would love for, and maybe this is asking a lot, because you're going up against a team like Cleveland, but man, try to be ahead by 9 to 10.
That's a good strategy in the game. It's a great strategy.
Let's try that.
Just try to be ahead.
Let's try to be ahead by 9 to 10 in the second half or second quarter.
It's not a strategy the Sacramento Kings implement too often. Deuce, I saw Deuce. I don't know if Deuce was talking to me or someone else in the chat. He said, I'd keep an eye on Queta. He looked strong in his first game in Stockton. We were talking about DeMarcus Cousins earlier, and I actually think Deuce reeled off a bunch of reasons why DeMarcus Cousins shouldn't be here, and that's fine. I disagree with Deuce, but that's fine. I respect his opinion enough to read it to you. Says defense has been a huge issue at that spot. He doesn't move well. 3 fouls a game in 13 minutes, gets destroyed in pick and roll. Just not the same guy post injury. That's all fine, but all that stuff is happening now. That stuff is happening now. I think DeMarcus Cousins could provide more. But you don't like the DeMarcus Cousins idea? That's fine. This is the one I want to see. He says, I'd keep an eye on Queta. He looked strong in his first game in Stockton. I want to see Monty just seems so ecstatic to be able to grab Neemias Queta when he did in the draft a couple of years ago. I know you're of the belief he needs more development. That's fine. But at some point, I'm going to ask: Is he a worse option than what the Kings have?
Man, I don't feel like he is. Like it's got to be. It's almost the same thing that I say about like the Harrison Barnes situation. You can't not give me either side of the basketball. Like if Queta or Cousins in this aspect too. Let's just take Cousins for instance. If Cousins could be the stretch 4 possibly, or could score, at a nice little level, but his defense wasn't there, I feel like I could live with that. I feel like that's relatively fine. I feel like that's okay. Oh, I'm sorry. No laughing. Sorry.
Don't stop laughing.
Sorry.
This is why we can't get sponsors, according to the guy who keeps calling us.
Nothing is funny in life.
Nothing.
No laughing. But give me one. Queta in this situation. Maybe he can't score or finish on the level that you would want him to, but if he's able to get stops or help get stops, cool. But it can't be like nothing. Yeah. Right? And that's what's going on right now with Rashawn and Harrison. Like it's not either one of the sides of the ball that they're being productive on.
Mhm.
Can't have that.
916-909-1320. If you want to get in on the phone lines or complain about Kenny, that's the number to do it. Again, 916-909-1320. Latest college football playoff rankings came out yesterday.
Okay.
These used to be hallmark event. I forgot. I just completely forgot. Like, oh, the rankings are out. I used to look forward to maybe because everything else that was going, maybe I just missed it.
Do you think this is is it gonna be even worse when they go to like 12? Like what are we getting excited about now? 12?
Yeah, it's not that I'm not. I was certainly interested. I just, for some reason, it slipped my mind yesterday. I don't know. Yeah, it probably won't be very exciting though when they go to 12. Because we're really going to be arguing about this 13th team. This 4-loss SEC team deserves a chance. Georgia number 1, Ohio State number 2, Michigan number 3. No surprises there. TCU 4.
Yeah.
College Football Committee did, in fact, listen to D'Lo and KC yesterday and said, F them. Put TCU at 4.
Well, I mean, and that's where they should be. They got a game this week against Texas, who's ranked 18th. Texas is like a 7-point favorite in that game. I think TCU loses. And then that'll throw everything, I guess you could say, where it should be. But one of the things that caught my eye is Oregon at 6, USC at 8. Oregon did lose to Georgia in technically it was a neutral site game, but it was in the Mercedes-Benz Dome. I think that's what I think Dome is New Orleans
in Atlanta or LSU or New Orleans.
New Orleans is the Dome. Atlanta's Stadium, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. Ramsey would know. But either way, like it was supposed to be neutral site, but obviously they were in Georgia. And that's why they probably get that nod over SC. I think I saw a projection of like a percentage of getting in. I want to say Oregon was like at 14, SC was at 6. And I think SC has a better chance. But and if anybody wants to know why I'm always like on this whole SC Oregon thing, because I think it's, as a guy who lives in Sacramento, loves West Coast college sports, I think that's important to get into these playoffs. Whether it's SC or Georgia, I don't really care. But I feel like the Pac-10
SC or Oregon.
Yeah. SC or Oregon.
Yeah.
I don't care either one, but I think it's important for the West Coast to have some representation in these playoffs.
I think it's important to have the best teams in the playoffs. And where I'm getting stuck here is, man, they sure put Tennessee in an interesting spot because Tennessee can't compete for the SEC title.
No.
So they could be a 1-loss non-conference champion.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got TCU there, and now you've got the makeup of number 2 versus number 3, where you'll have another opportunity to have a really, really good 1-loss non-conference champion. Is Ohio State, Michigan, and or Tennessee better than Oregon or USC? And my belief is probably the 3 names I mentioned first are better than the 2 names I mentioned last, all 3 of them. So whoever wins the Pac-12, I don't think is good as Ohio State, Michigan, or Tennessee. And I don't know why TCU is here.
I don't either.
Like,
I really don't either. But I'll say this.
It's all fun and games till it's 50-7 in the third quarter.
Seriously.
Everybody loves the underdog until they, because everyone's waiting for the Boise State thing to happen again.
Yeah. That Boise State not walking through that door. I remember I was an advocate for Cincinnati last year. It was clear after the first 2 possessions, they can't play with Alabama. It's not going to happen. But if I'm Oregon, and if Oregon runs the table, That would include wins over Washington, which currently is 25th, win versus Utah, which is 13th, and probably a win versus USC, who's 8th. That gets in ahead of Tennessee, in my opinion. Both lost to Georgia.
Okay. I mean, Tennessee beat Bama.
Mm-hmm. Kentucky,
which they dropped. I can't remember where they dropped Bama. They dropped Clemson to 10. I think that shit, like ACC is gone.
Yeah.
Thank
Clemson. That's
thank
gone.
you, college football gods.
Yeah.
Get them out of here. They don't. And I was reading an article. There's a road. No, there's not a road. Close that road off. We don't need ACC there.
Do you feel, because I saw this too, and I think I disagree. If TCU finishes undefeated, then they get in.
Apparently. Which means Ohio State or Michigan probably
but
isn't it?
I don't think so. And like I said, I don't think Tennessee has the games left to be able to leapfrog TCU. But let's go Oregon. Let's go Oregon. If Oregon runs the table and TCU runs the table, I think Oregon should be in it ahead of TCU. A one-loss Oregon should be.
Why would the committee set themselves up for this then?
I don't know.
Why wouldn't you just put Oregon at 4?
Because you can't put them there now. But the way you can
so
get
the
them
best
over
you could do is
got,
creep them up to 5, and then make an argument on the selection show that their strength of schedule was better than TCU's.
Quality wins. Like they're gonna finish the season potentially with 3 ranked wins compared to TCU's 1. And they'll probably play. I don't know how this goes.
Do you know who TCU's was at the top of your head?
What
their ranked win?
Well, the ones remaining right now, they have wins over Oklahoma, who was I think 18 at the time, or maybe they're 18 now. Kansas, Oklahoma State, and Kansas State, all ranked. So they got 4 ranked wins right now. They would beat Texas, and I'm not sure how this works out, but I think they'd probably play Oklahoma State again. Which, if you ask me, I don't think they're beating Oklahoma State and Texas to end the season.
Tennessee would have 5 ranked wins. 5.
Wow.
Got blown up by Georgia. Well, they got blown up by Georgia.
They lost. It's not what happened to Oregon.
It's not what happened to Oregon.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. TCU doesn't belong.
TCU is a really good team. It's a really. I'd be shocked if they ran the table.
I think boy, it's going to be interesting what they do with Ohio State, the loser of Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing about that. I think you and I both are penciling both of them in.
But
as long as the only game they lose,
you can't. Like, how do you do that? How do you pencil one of them in when Tennessee is right there at number 5 and they have a resume significantly stronger than either of those two?
I don't know.
The SEC winner, a non-conference SEC team, the Big Ten winner, and God forbid the winner of Ohio State, Michigan actually loses the Big Ten championship.
Oh, man.
Then this whole thing, then Oregon's getting in, and TCU's getting in,
or
Clemson with the Hulk Hogan up coming back or whatever.
Or this is crazy too. Like this is crazy. I don't even know if it will go this way. But what if the loser of Ohio State, Michigan, and whoever won that game, losing in the Big Ten, both get in?
That's if Ohio State lost in the Big Ten, or one of them lost in the Big Ten and got in, I don't think that would happen.
So if
you'd be more likely to put the person who lost Ohio State, Michigan in the person who lost the Big Ten championship.
So why would you do that? That's what I'm saying. Like
because
the
quality of loss isn't going to be as good.
I think Ohio State couldn't get in if they lost to Michigan. Because now I know it's a highly ranked team, but you lost at home, and then you want us to.
You're going to play a 2-loss Fighting Illini team. Like, no, that's a bad loss. It's a bad loss.
But
The
you're
quality
you can't-
loss will
but
be
you-
the Michigan-Ohio
Yeah,
State
but you
loss.
can't. You're gonna penalize us for playing an extra game and reward,
Yes, that's been the conversation
and-
for years.
and reward the team that we beat.
That's been the conversation for years.
Tragic.
That's why teams that didn't have conference championships added conference championships because, we're being punished for not having a conference championship. And the College Football Playoff Committee was like, yeah, you are. But now it's a one-loss non-conference champion versus a team that just didn't play the conference championship.
Right.
It's not the same thing.
Which is crazy.
It ain't my. Hey, what do you want me to do?
So in that
what do you want me
case,
to do?
let's
It's not a quality loss.
Let's say Michigan. Let's say Michigan beat Ohio State, and Ohio State doesn't play in the Big Ten championship game, obviously, and Michigan loses in the Big Ten championship game, and then Ohio State got into college football. How are you going to put the team that we beat in the college football playoff ahead of us?
I don't make the rules. I don't know what to tell you.
There are no rules with this thing.
I don't think there are. James Ham is here, and he brought something.
Crumble cookies.
James brought treats. Hammer brought treats. You're listening
my.
to D-Lo and KC on KIFM West Sacramento, KRXQ HD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320, driven by Lashers, Elk Grove Dodge, always live on the free Odyssey app. We've got tickets to see the Sacramento Kings take on the Brooklyn Nets live on TNT. You could be at the Golden One Center to experience this historic moment live and in person. Kyrie Irving likely returns. I don't know if Kyrie's returning or not. But I know Kyrie's going to be a topic of discussion when that game is played. So caller number 3 right now, 916-909-1320.
I was just about to say that. Don't they just play Brooklyn?
They do play Brooklyn. Yep. They do
so
play
crazy.
Brooklyn.
That's so crazy. Because I think I got drove over that one time.
The Sacramento
Not in
Kings
trouble.
play Brooklyn and no one else. Just Brooklyn.
They're taking on all of Brooklyn.
Brooklyn is, in fact, in the house.
Bed-Stuy is coming to
Biggie
Sacramento.
Smalls is returning to take on the Sacramento Kings. 916-909-1320. Caller number 3 right now to win these tickets. James Ham is getting situated. James, have you gone to say hi to all of the dignitaries that are here to see you? Okay. James.
Real quick, while James is getting situated, seems like the perfect time to talk about this. I don't know what happened at the polls yesterday. And I don't understand this whole thing. And I really don't understand. I'm not even like I'm angry because we're talking about we're talking about Prop 26
Donald
and
Trump.
27.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about something else. My bad. Okay, go ahead.
Prop 26 and 27 don't get passed. There is no legal betting and gambling here on sports in California. And I don't understand what the issue is.
I don't either. I don't get it.
I don't know why. And it wasn't even close. Like I think at one point it was like 85% no.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, it was a whooping.
I don't get it. And I'm because I don't necessarily completely understand it. And I know that in some respects it's tied into like the reservations and stuff like that. I'm really seriously being respectful of that. Like if there's things that I don't know, somebody let me know. But it seems kind of cut and dry. Like I know people were saying that because of both of them being on the ballot, it messed it up.
Yeah.
In my eyes, at least one of them should have passed.
Yeah.
Like if one don't go, then the other should have won.
Ballots,
and vice versa.
Props are confusing, period. Because the way that they're presented to us often, and obviously you're inundated with commercials. And from what I read this morning, this was the biggest like prop campaign. Like it was like $600 million a side.
Wow.
Which is
that's ridiculous.
Insane to me. It's just absolutely insane.
It's crazy.
And I don't know what it's like watching on regular television, but I know watching as a streamer, watching a Kings game, prior to yesterday, it was the first commercials vote yes on Prop 27. The next commercials vote no on Prop 27. Then the next commercials vote yes on Prop 26. And then the next commercials vote no on vote yes, then no on Prop 26. Like, All right. I got confused just saying that out loud.
Right.
But I think back to there have been a couple of props on the ballot that have really confused people in the past.
Yeah.
This I don't know. I don't know if this confused people. I don't know if people really aren't into the idea. I don't know if your kids now can become gambling addicts on their phones. I didn't know if that was a thing. Like you're just going to have to keep using your uncle's out-of-state address, I guess, to gamble on your phones. But
man,
I didn't understand.
On top of that, these are things that I don't understand too. And they're like, yeah, we don't want gambling at the hands of our kids. And then the next breath, hey, Johnny, yeah, I'm going to give you more Robux for Roblox.
Yeah, all good.
Where you can murder somebody routinely.
Yeah.
And talk crazy to them, curse them out and say all this crazy stuff. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's okay. But no betting, which
no betting
doesn't seem to be an issue.
Now take your phone and go to Pornhub or something. Jeez. Oh, I don't want you going to BetQL. I don't want you listening to Trista Crick. Though Trista's podcast is not suitable for children.
No,
for the race, it's not suitable.
Sometimes her appearance on this radio show is not suitable.
Well.
But yeah, I was obviously, because I like the gambling and everything, disappointed to see neither one of them was even close to being passed.
How many people do you think it took to explain to Herschel Walker what's going on right now? Do you think Herschel Walker fully understands
I was
what's
just about to
happening
say
right
he still don't know.
He still don't know.
They're trying, like everybody that
Herschel walking around like, I thought it was over. What do you mean it's not over?
He went up there to give his what kind of speech is it? The acceptance of defeat or something like that?
Concession speech.
Concession. He went up there to give that.
No. Herschel, come down, honey. It's not over. Come sit. Go eat your oatmeal, Herschel. Relax.
Go eat your oatmeal.
Take that medicine we got from Brett Favre.
Oh man.
Take that medicine we got from Brett Favre.
That dude is he is crooked as they come.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Jesse said Herschel thinks a runoff is another name for the Oklahoma drill.
I got this, guys. I got this. We're in a runoff. Oh, I got this.
I got this.
I'm bringing this home.
Ain't no way Warner can outrun me. Ain't no way. I got him.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was disappointed. Yeah, I was disappointed that prop didn't pass.
I was ready to hit all these casinos with cash carry. We would have been rich. As somebody said on the on Twitter, this is my opportunity to get out the hood. Who's trying to get out the hood? Cash Carroll would have had everybody paid. Would have boosted the economy. The other thing that I don't understand is I think I got this correct.
It's like from Sacramento.
it's legal in like 30 states.
Yeah.
We're not the first to do it here.
Why is California so far behind? I guess and I'll be maybe I just don't understand maybe I just
this is the only black eye on the great state of California.
Maybe I just don't understand the downside of it.
I don't. And like I said, the reservations, maybe there's something that is unfair to them. So if I'm missing something and I don't know. But
David Jackson said a runoff is what Herschel does when he finds out his side girl is pregnant.
Oh man,
there's a lot of evidence. There's a lot of evidence to support that's true.
Ooh, he survived that too.
Man, them dudes survive everything. Ever since you know what and you know who. We'll keep that between me and you. Yeah, them dudes survive everything.
Corners of the Culture on Thursday, the beef episode.
Indeed. Where's the beef? Yeah, it's right there for you. Couldn't find a more 80s reference than that. I think Ham got lost. I don't know where James brought in like these cookies,
crumble cookies,
and then left. He brought in and those who were watching commented on the enormous backpack that James has. Maybe he's in there talking to PDX. Maybe that there is a lot of people in the office today, like a lot.
It's like a real radio.
It's weird. It's weird. I'm getting anxiety. It is. It's about to go down here. At the.
What do you think it's gonna look like on Friday?
Oh, it ain't gonna be nobody here. I'm thinking we do the show from Mon-Fri. There ain't gonna be nobody here. Shoot, there might not be anybody here tomorrow. And be like, yo, we did that work last night. We did that. We'll see y'all. We'll see y'all at the potluck. There are people here I don't even recognize. Like, who is the lady directly in front of me? Like, who's that? It's the second day in a row I've seen her.
Never seen her, but I didn't even see her yesterday.
Like, who are these people? Do they like they're wearing lanyards? I think they work here. She's got an Odyssey mug. She's got to work here. That's what I'm telling you. They should have just left our asses at home. They really should have left us at home.
They're saying the same thing about us.
They are.
Who are those guys in the studio?
Why are those idiots wearing glasses? We'll come back. James Ham's with us. Chris Biderman will be with us as well. We'll talk some 49ers football and probably some Kings basketball as well when D'Lo and KC return here on Sacramento Sports Leader ESPN 1320. All right, I'll be right back.
I guess I should do a little 13th round. It's not anything really to talk about. They got these WBC. I'll talk about that. There's nothing to talk about because all these ordering of the such and such to do this, that don't mean nothing. Where are we at here? $13th round with your main man, Kenny Caraway. Shout out to my people over at Meister Watches. You know the vibes. You see what they got going on. Big ups to my man, Ryan. Shout out to my man, Jovan. They had a hell of an event in Vegas over the weekend, and my man, Jovan, was there. I got to get to that next year. Shout out to my people over at Jordan Brand. Shout out to Donna's Dope. You know, always showing love and support. 13th round. As you guys can see, I'm probably stalling a little bit because there's not a whole lot going on in the world of boxing, aside from like all that hearsay, right? You got the WBC. They're ordering mandatory fights, one for Keith Thurman to face Errol Spence for his WBC belt, another for Andy Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder in a title eliminator to see who would face Tyson Fury for his WBC belt. I don't think both of those fights happen. And if you ask me right now which one I would bank on being more likely to happen, I'd probably say it's tough because so I'll say this. With Errol, he's got the choice between Thurman. Dang, I forgot the other guy for the WBO. Or no, Terrence Crawford has the WBO. He's got another guy that I can't remember. And then the other mandatory is Boots Ennis. He's not facing Boots Ennis. He doesn't want to face Keith Thurman, regardless of what everybody thinks. Like, Al may want it because it's all money in, but Errol ain't. I don't think he's doing that. I think he faces the guy that I can't remember his name. So I don't think he fights Thurman. But there is a part of me that feels like that's the biggest money fight for him right now. And the buildup would be great. Like, I'm not tripping off Spence Thurman. It's a good fight. It's a good pay-per-view fight as well. Like, there'd be real heat. That'd be dope. But there is the hiccup of Errol not wanting to face him. With that being said, the one I think happens the most is I think Wilder takes on Ruiz. And if Deontay Wilder wins that fight, that would be crazy that he get another shot at Tyson Fury in the WBC strap. So if I had to choose between which one I actually think happens, I think it would be Wilder Ruiz. But we'll have to see. That's the 13th round. We good up in superstars. He just took a shot.
Woo! Woo!
He just took a shot.
Damn. Woo. Man.
I can't wait. No, I can't wait.
Goodness. That is serious.
You know what I don't see here? Chocolate chip.
There's probably some in that
It's
one.
probably this one right here.
Yeah. Is that a raisin?
Where?
Is that what that is? Or a craisin?
Yeah. It looks like a raisin or a, yeah. I think I got my eye on this one. Because this is white chocolate chip here, too.
Oh, man.
Where's
Yeah,
Jesse? A lot of frosting on this one.
Yeah, there's a lot of frosting in here.
Throw them in the trash.
I don't think James knows I can't eat those. So y'all go ahead and go to town.
Oh
man.
I know I can't.
That shot was a
can't wait.
bitch. Goodness gracious. Ooh.
What was that shot of?
Lemon, lemon, ginger, and cayenne pepper.
Oh yeah, cayenne pepper. Yeah, that'll get you.
Mm-hmm.
That'll get you.
Hey, seriously, what happened to James?
He's with PDX. He's in there telling him the story of Cowbell Kingdom. No turmeric in that one, Ramsey. Not in that one.
I know I can't wait.
Why they got you looking like Sleepy Brown? No,
I've heard that before.
That works.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
That works.
I don't necessarily agree, but
James has gotten lost in a sea of people out in the office today.
This is a packed house.
It's sold out.
Filled to the rafters.
It is. It is. Like there's even more people walking in. Like, I'm sorry, person, do you work here?
Then,
I'm sorry, sir, do you work here?
And it's inevitable that I'm going to talk to like the most powerful person in the company and not know it.
I think that happened to me yesterday. Yeah, I think I was helping someone. Someone was like, "Hey, can I get water?" And when she said, it dawned on me like, "Oh," as I was helping her get water, it was like, "Oh, yeah, hey, how you doing? How you doing?"
I already know that's gonna happen, so that's why I'm just.
I'm your less popular talk show host. The popular one is still in the studio. I'm the less popular one.
Stop it.
As I described to people, as I told Matt George, I'm Marty Jannetty.
That is not.
I'm
that
Christian.
Is not true.
You're Edge.
It's not true. I have been called the rated R superstar, but that is not true.
Chris Biderman set to join us coming up here in just a matter of minutes.
Niners are back, baby.
They are back.
Niners are back. Let's go. Second half of the season.
In major back as they got Sunday Night Football against the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah.
Is there good news anywhere?
There is good news. I mean,
okay.
Debo's supposed to be back.
Okay.
Juwan Jennings supposed to be back. I think Elijah Mitchell's supposed to be back. There is rumors. I don't know if it's this week. I don't know. But the linebacking core should be coming back, if not this week, next week. Al-Shaair should be back. Greenlaw and Warner will be together. So there's
getting closer.
Yeah.
It doesn't it doesn't appear Eric Armstead is getting closer.
Oh no. That's not good news.
He's got a stress reaction and hairline fracture of his left fibula and plantar fascia on his right foot. Is he Paul Pearson around the place? Like, that sounds like he's in incredible pain.
Yeah,
how do you even walk?
I was about to say that doesn't even sound like something you want to walk with, to be honest.
Much less play.
Yeah.
Full practice though. Debo, Juwan, Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah.
Limited, Dre Greenlaw, Jason Verrett, no practice. Ebukam didn't practice, and obviously Eric Armstead. Oh, look at how great Chris Biderman looks here. Oh, that boy Chris Biderman looks nice in his Reasonable Doubt Corners of the Culture hoodie.
Take you back to Reasonable Doubt time. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I love this sweater, but I'm such a sloppy eater that like I just cannot have food anywhere near this thing. So I figured I'd, come on and represent with you guys on the show because I definitely won't be eating.
That's love, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
It looks fantastic. We appreciate it. Do you can you add anything about Eric Armstead? We were just talking about him reading off his list of injuries on the right side of his body, the left side of his body, and it just doesn't sound good.
No, the words hairline fracture for a big guy in particular is always scary. I don't really have anything to add to it other than what's already been reported, but it doesn't sound good. And
he's conceivably out for the season, right?
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. That's not an injury that. I mean, he's got both. He's got like ankle and foot things going on. It's just doesn't sound like he's coming back anytime soon. So that's a big loss for them. I think he's one of their most underrated players.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you. You don't want to take any chances with some of the things we're hearing with rushing him back or even bringing him back at all. But I do want to say this because I do agree that he's a big loss. Have the 49ers found a way in his absence? Because he's been gone since I think he got hurt week 3, maybe week 2. I can't remember. Have they found a way to, I don't want to say move on, but like kind of, all right, we know what we're doing with this defensive line and we know how to make it work, or are they still feeling the remnants of him not being there?
Yeah, I think because they don't have DeForest Buckner and because Javon Kinlaw hasn't been what they hoped he would be yet. I don't think they really have a good answer there. Like Akeem Spence, Hassan Ridgeway, Kevin Givens, those are all kind of like rotational dudes. And if you're asking them to be starters, then I think teams are just going to attack those guys. And that, the 49ers run defense, while Armstead was healthy, was one of the best in the league. And I think Kinlaw could be a potential solution, but we don't know when or if he's ever going to be healthy either. So I would say defensively, the interior of their defensive line feels like the Achilles heel right now. Because Armstead is so good at defending the run and he's an underrated pass rusher, I think that's a really tough spot for them, a lot of production for them to try to replace. And I don't know that they can do it right now. So that's one area of concern because like when the defense was struggling against Kansas City and in the first half of the Rams game, they were allowing a lot of third down conversions, and a lot of that had to do with like third and short, and because they were just teams were actually able to run the ball against them in early downs, and I think that's going to be key for them. Defensive coaches talk about it all the time. Like the first thing we got to do is stop the run. And I know analytics and everything, they're like, oh, the running game doesn't matter. Well, that's literally D'Amico Ryan says the first thing we have to do as a defense is stop the run. And I think there's credence to that because if you can't stop the run, then an offense in the NFL today is going to be able to do basically whatever it wants. And so you have to stop the run. Therefore, you can make an offense more one-dimensional and easier to defend. But if the 49ers aren't going to have Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw for a long time, which that's kind of feels like where it's heading, right? Like it's going to be more difficult on the defense, but they do have a really good linebacking core. They do have a good secondary if everybody's healthy. So the defense should be fine, but I do think I don't think they have the bodies to replace Armstead right now, particularly with Kinlaw out.
Chris Biderman, Sacramento Bee, host of Candlestick Chronicles, with us here on D-Lo and Casey. How close is Drake Jackson to kind of cementing himself as a major part of that defense?
I'm very curious to see because you see signs of it, right? Like a lot of times for rookies, they come into the league, they sort of try to figure out how to play, try to establish a role. And then as their rookie season goes on and like the back stretch of it, they really take a leap. And I think Drake Jackson is certainly a candidate because he's just an obscene athlete, right? Like, and if he had the type of college career where he produced right away, where it was very evident what type of player he would be, like you see with so many other prospects. You remember, like, he was fluctuating weight, he was changing positions, he had different defensive coordinators, and he never really strung together the type of college career that a first-round prospect typically has. But given that, he plays a premium position, he's super athletic, he has a size and all of that to sort of typify like the modern day defensive end. I do think he could wind up being a steal for them in the second round. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if he really comes on in the second half because teams are, I think the 49ers offense is going to score more, which means opposing offenses are going to pass the ball more. Samson Ebukam's banged up. He's been dealing with an Achilles issue and now a quad injury. Go figure, the 49ers have an injury during a practice, which seems to happen way too often. But there are going to be opportunities for Drake Jackson, particularly if Samson Ebukam has to miss any time. I did like that pick a lot, and I think the more I've watched him play, even at training camp, it was apparent, like, this guy's a freak. Like, how many 260-pound dudes do you see doing, like, handsprings and rolls or whatever they're called? Like that guy. Like, he's just got a special level of athleticism to him. And I think as he gets more comfortable, particularly down the stretch here with more opportunities, I think he could be a really good pass rusher for them.
I thought I saw somewhere earlier this week where Al-Shaair is he on his way back this week, or is he looking like he's maybe a week or two, like he's around the corner from coming back?
He returned to practice, so it could be this week, it could be next week, but returning to practice is obviously a good sign.
How big is that for this defense to get it? Because he was playing at a super high level. I'd say in the last, dating back to last year, probably the last, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 games. Like he was playing really, really well. And they lost him week 1, right?
Yeah, so he's been a really good player for them when he's on the field. I think the bigger thing for them, because like Dre Greenlaw's in and out of the lineup with injuries, like having all three of those guys healthy at once is helpful, because if you do deal with an injury for Greenlaw, then Al-Shaair can step in. And if you do deal with the Al-Shaair injury, Greenlaw can be there, right? Because most of the time, like probably 2/3 of the time, they're playing with just two linebackers on the field. So, there's one of the issues they had in the Chiefs game was, Demetrius Flannigan-Fowles was just really getting picked on. Like his play was an issue and a big reason why the Chiefs were able to do everything they did in that game. And then you notice Oren Burks was playing that position in the Rams game. Al-Shaair just gives you depth and more credibility at that spot. The three linebacker sets are obviously going to look good when they are in those positions or in those personnel groupings. But when you have just another starting caliber guy, just like for this team, depth is really important because guys are always in and out of the lineup with injuries. You just have another guy healthy, that helps you, right? So if Dre Greenlaw has another nagging injury, then you can play Al-Shaair, and there isn't nearly the drop off as there would be than if you had to go to, Flannigan-Fowles or Oren Burks, and I should say Burks played pretty well in the Rams game, but they definitely feel better with Al-Shaair healthy.
How close to what we saw against the Rams with Christian McCaffrey in that 49ers offense? How much do you think that is? That's what the 49ers have. Like that's it, that game against the Rams, or is it a little less than that?
So seeing it and like it's been hard for me not to try to overreact to that Rams game because it was such a good game for the offense and Christian McCaffrey. And like thinking about it since then, it's like, all right, when Jimmy Garoppolo throws interceptions, most often, like, what does it look like? It's like, all right, his first 2 or 3 reads are taken away. The thoughts he had pre-snap, obviously, like they took away whatever options he thought he was going to have pre-snap. He had to make a second reaction play, and then he's forcing a ball into triple coverage, right? Like Jimmy Garoppolo just doesn't throw the ball away, and a lot of his worst throws are when he's forcing it to somebody like Deebo Samuel. The one that sticks out to me always is like the Broncos game, like week 3 or whenever that was, when Deebo was triple covered. The fact that he has a check down option who might be arguably the best check down option in the NFL, I think is a complete game changer for Jimmy Garoppolo in particular, because instead of, having to make a second reaction play and potentially trying to force it to George Kittle or Deebo Samuel, guys who are heavily covered, now you have a check down option where you feel like, all right, we can get 6, 7, 8 yards of pop with this guy. And even like when he was the check down option, but then saw open space in the end zone and had that really good touchdown catch in the second half of the Rams game, then you're like, okay, this is a completely different dynamic for the 49ers passing game, because now you can still get positive yardage. You can still have, productive, successful plays when those initial reads aren't there. And so that, to me, I think is really what might be the big game changer for the 49ers offense in getting this trade is like, now you have a check down option and maybe you take some of these bad throws that Jimmy Garoppolo typically makes off the table, and then you turn these into potentially chain moving plays or even touchdowns, right? And it's not a surprise that Jimmy Garoppolo in that game set a career high for completion rate with 84% of his passes completed, right? So to me, that's the biggest thing. Like trading a lot of picks for a running back, I generally isn't something you would do or think is a smart decision. But when that running back is somebody who you can throw the ball to 8 times a game, I think that's a potential game changer for the 49ers. And the 49ers didn't even have Deebo Samuel in that Rams game. And you just think about all the ways that Kyle Shanahan could potentially create space for those guys using Deebo Samuel as a decoy or using Christian McCaffrey as a decoy, on top of what you could always get from George Kittle when he's healthy in the passing game. Like, I think the offense could be really scary for opposing defenses. And look, the NFC is wide open. So if they keep all these guys healthy, and that's always the key with this team, they got to keep these guys healthy. But if they can, I think it's fair to say the 49ers, like, I felt really good about the 49ers group of skill guys coming into the season. And now with Christian McCaffrey, based on that Rams game, it's like, man, this guy's really the limit for these guys as long as they're all available and playing.
And talking about Deebo coming back and Jawan Jennings coming back, looks like even Elijah Mitchell is going to be coming back as well. Is there a scenario that you see where, I know Christian McCaffrey is a running back, but they even look at him as maybe, getting Elijah Mitchell in the backfield and having McCaffrey as like your slot guy or something like that?
Yeah.
Or Deebo on the outside. I mean, there seems like there's so many things that they can do with a guy like McCaffrey because of his skill set. Do you see him being a flat out receiver sometimes?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I thought Jimmy Garoppolo, I thought Jimmy Garoppolo's best football he played for the 49ers was 2017 after he took over the starting job, those final 5 games after the trade from the Patriots. And if you remember those games, like, one of the big reasons Jimmy Garoppolo was so successful was because of Trent Taylor, the slot receiver that they had, who was one of the best third down targets, particularly on slants in the NFL. I know exactly why you're laughing.
We thought he was going to be the next Wes Walker.
And Wes Welker was his receivers coach.
Yeah.
But Christian McCaffrey is like, a lot of people thought he was a slot receiver coming out when he in the 2017 draft. And the numbers that he put up in Carolina those couple seasons, like, he was legitimately one of the best pass catchers in the league, regardless of position, right? Really good route runner, really good athlete. Like, I think sort of the positionless football thing that Kyle Shanahan loves to incorporate into his offense, that really plays with McCaffrey and what you can do with him out of the slot. Because, you could have a very traditional personnel grouping with 2 receivers, a tight end, and a fullback, and really align any guy anywhere. You could align Kyle Juszczyk in the slot. You could align Christian McCaffrey in the slot. You could put George Kittle in the slot or out wide. Like, you can do all sorts of different things. And I think that's a big part of it too. So yeah, like, I see Christian McCaffrey being in the slot a lot as the season goes along, because I think Kyle Shanahan realizes one of the things that the 49ers have lacked in recent seasons has been sort of that slot receiver chain mover on third down that Jimmy Garoppolo had when Trent Taylor was playing well in 2017.
I'm getting hyped. Right now I'm getting hyped, and I'm just trying to calm down, because every time I get too hyped with the 49ers, Damian, somebody goes down or something. I'm just gonna calm down. I'm just gonna calm down.
I'm with you guys. I mean, I think I came on this show before the season started and said that they were gonna. I think the 49ers can go to the Super Bowl, and based on how the season has played out in the NFC, I know the Eagles are really good. But really, after that, like, it doesn't feel like there's any team, even the Eagles, like, it doesn't feel like there's any team in the NFC that the 49ers can't beat, but they do have to be at full strength. Like, that's always going to be the most important thing for them. And, like, as good as the roster is, it just feels like the training staff is like the Detroit Lions of training staffs. And it's hard to, like, it happened again this week. Like, they have these practices off bye weeks, these bonus practices, and guys get hurt in controlled environments, and it just doesn't make any sense why it keeps happening. But I mean, I'm talking about Samson Ebukam and the thigh injury. It's not a huge deal, I don't think, because Ebukam could potentially be replaced by somebody like Drake Jackson. But yeah, if they're healthy, I would feel good about putting them against any team in the NFC in the playoffs.
Y'all just be crapping all over the Seattle Seahawks, man.
What you talking about? I said they're a good team.
Man, you begrudgingly
I said they're having a good season.
Chris Biderman, for the record, are the Seattle Seahawks a good football team?
Yeah, they're a good football team. I don't know.
Chris Biderman, for the record, are the Seattle Seahawks a better football team than the San Francisco 49ers?
Settle down.
You remember what happened week 2?
Objection.
I mean, look, the Seahawks are on a nice run here. The Niners still put it to them in week 2, right? In a game where Trey Lance got hurt, Jimmy Garoppolo came in without practicing at all and played pretty well. Now, obviously, the teams have gone through a lot since then, and the records speak for themselves. But, I do think that December Thursday night game when the 49ers go up to play Seattle could potentially be for the division. But I think, Vegas is on the money when they make the 49ers the current betting favorites to win the NFC West over the Seahawks. I just don't know if Seattle's defense is going to be good enough. And I know Pete Carroll's a really good defensive coach, and they have some pretty intriguing defensive players, young and up and coming defensive guys. But it's just hard for me to look at, the talent the 49ers have offensively, the pedigree they have with their couple playoff runs in the last 3 years. Like, I have a hard time believing that team is really going to be the reason why the 49ers don't win the division. That being said, the NFL is super weird at all times, and it's impossible to say because some teams that we think are going to be good, like the Packers and the Bucks and the Rams, are just bad and stink. And then other teams like the Seahawks, who we thought coming into the season might be tanking, are like real playoff potential teams. So it's weird, but as of right now, I would still say the 49ers are better than the Seahawks, but anything can happen in the NFL, as we've seen.
I thought we were done with these guys. I really did. I thought we were done with the Seahawks, and here they are. But okay, they want to do it, then let's do it. All right, I'll be ready. I'll be ready in late December when we go to Seattle on a Thursday night.
We had Deebo Samuel on our podcast this week, and I asked him about the Rams and what is it about the Rams? Why do you guys just dominate them? What's up with the 8-0 record? And he's like, we're not even rivals with them. Like we're bigger rivals with the Seahawks. Which I thought was fascinating.
It's such a sign of disrespect, too. It's such a slap in the face to the Rams.
It definitely felt that way because, there was a whole Aaron Donald thing, didn't know who Deebo Samuel was a couple years ago and all that. It's not even acknowledging that it's a rival is a pretty substantial slap in the face.
One more slap in the face is needed, potentially, as we have the Hallmark channel on.
I swear to God. There's too many damn people in this building. Since you brought it up, Jesse, could you tell Jonathan that he turned our television on and the volume is up? Could you tell whoever is playing with the remote to please stop? Goodness gracious.
So one more.
He's in God knows what room controlling the television.
One more slap in the face that I think we need for the Rams is if we go get Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, how realistic is that, Chris? Is that something that we talked about, all the offensive weapons that the 49ers have right now? Do they have too many offensive weapons to go get Odell Beckham? I say no. I say you're one injury away from needing a guy like that. They had Snead on there last week. You know what I mean? So I say if you can go get him, you go get him. But does he fit? How realistic is it? What's your thought about
Thanks,
Odell
Jonathan.
Yeah. Odell. All right. So I think it could work, but I think expecting OBJ to come in and be even the player he was last year might be asking for a little bit too much, because keep in mind, this is a guy who tore the same ACL now twice. And can he be a complimentary receiver? Do you like him in the Juwan Jennings role? I think that certainly makes sense. But if you're Odell, if you're Odell and you just want to win, then yeah, joining the 49ers would make sense, because like you said, the Willie Snead, Danny Gray type role could potentially be open there for him. But if you're Odell and you want 8 targets a game, I don't know that you're going to get that from the 49ers. And then it's also tough to say, where's that opportunity going to be where he could join a contending team and also get the targets that he wants, right? So I do think it's possible, because the 49ers, like you said, are always an injury away from needing somebody else. But in terms of you have an all-pro last year at Deebo Samuel, you have an all-pro tight end in George Kittle, who doesn't care if he gets targets or not, but still somebody who can get a good amount of targets. You have Brandon Ayuk, who's been really good to great at certain points of this season, and I think he's been better than what his production would indicate. At least that's the way Kyle Shanahan's talking about him, and we know Kyle Shanahan isn't doesn't heap praise on receivers in particular when he doesn't think they deserve it. But if Odell wants to come to the 49ers, they would certainly entertain it. But I just wonder if that's going to be the best opportunity for him to get real playing time, because we know he's going to try to, get a contract. Maybe it'll be a 1-year contract, I would assume, and then he'd hit free agency next year. And I'm guessing he would want the best opportunity to just get a lot of catches. And I don't know that the 49ers are going to offer him that. But I also didn't think the 49ers were going to go get Christian McCaffrey. So maybe there's more to it than I'm thinking at the moment.
Chris Biderman, Candlestick Chronicles, Sacramento Bee, tremendous 49ers coverage, tremendous Kings coverage as well. Chris, we appreciate you as always, my man. Thank you.
No problem. You guys going to the Kings game tonight?
I'll be there as a fan, though. I'm
Okay.
not with the media, but I'll be there Sunday with the media. So,
Are you guys going somewhere after this? You guys are dressed like very nicely.
Yeah, this is just how we show up to
This
the
is
office.
how you do it.
Don't
Okay.
want everybody's
Cool.
surprised. This is
No, I'm not surprised. You guys always dress well. It's just like, is it hoodies and like sweats dressing well, or is it like, button ups and
the office might be a little more crowded than it normally is, which may be
Gotcha.
contributing to our attire today.
I got you. You guys look great as always. Good to see you.
We appreciate you. No, you look great. You can get that corner of the culture hoodie at DLoandKC.com. Thanks, Chris.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
Chris Biderman right there, one of our favorites. We'll come back. James Ham is here. I believe he's eating a cookie. Nope, he is here. He is ready to work. We'll talk Kings
Got him
basketball
on the sneak.
when we return here on Sacramento Sports Leader ESPN 1320. This is bugging me. Now the TV's crooked and I can't do that. I can't do that. Like, it doesn't.
Grab some cookie while you're up.
That looks amazing. I don't think I can eat that. That looks amazing. Oh, it came with a cookie cutter too.
I had to pay $5 extra for the cookie cutter for their cookies, but yeah.
I don't know how bad that would hurt my stomach if I ate it, but it looks amazing.
There's
Absolutely
some
amazing.
good ones there. One's a blueberry cookie.
Oh, is that? We were trying to figure out. I don't think that's a raisin. What is that?
No, there's a blueberry.
I'll see if I can show them to the camera. Here they are. Oh yeah. Oh
There's a
yeah.
blueberry, a strawberry cake. That's what that one is. That was a white chocolate. And
Give
then,
Jesse the frosting one.
Yeah, there's pieces for everyone. Those are from Crumble Cookies.
Go for it, D-Lo. It has fruit in it.
That's good for you.
Oh man.
Test.
Oh. Sorry, James.
Oh, there we go. I was
Sorry.
like, I don't hear myself. That's exactly what I wasn't hearing. There it is. I should have known to do that myself.
Oh man. Oh, I think we gotta move him over there. There we go.
Do I need to move? Oh yeah.
No, you're good.
I slid over. It looks like people are
Boy,
fighting.
it
behind
is.
me. It looks like people are fighting behind me. What is happening?
They're folding. Oh my God, it does.
I don't know what.
Sheena throwing hands.
I don't know what's happening back there, but it looks like there's a fight.
There's an Odyssey beach towel back there.
Oh.
I don't know who that person is. I think she does work here. I think she's brand new. She's folding a giant Odyssey beach towel. I think that's who it is. Yeah, with my girl Gina back there. So can you guys see? So behind James, you can see the Sacramento Kings. It's right outside our.
Oh, that's new.
Yeah, it's brand new. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where'd that come from?
Just went up today. The Dope Ones did it. The guy who does all the artwork I have in my house and a lot of our gear, he did that. He did, like, you'll see, like, if you walk around the office, you'll see like Metallica, AC/DC, Drake. He did all of those.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have them put on canvas.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, they look great.
How's everyone doing today?
Riding that Herschel Walker vibe, man.
That's going to a runoff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and in the
Herschel's
runoff,
confused. He doesn't know what that means.
yeah, I mean, for running back, he should know what a runoff is.
It's like, oh, I could beat him in a race.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about this too? Where'd it go? Rob W. The guitars, they're literally right outside our. They're like out our door immediately to the right, like they're right next to us. Just a bunch of guitars, and then there's another one over by Prince and Michael. Not Michael. Prince and Kobe. I assume they left Kobe up. I didn't go look though. I'd be upset if they didn't.
Why are so many of these districts in Sacramento or in California not counted?
They're slow, man. Like
why? Like Angelique Ashby's still at the same thing, 25%.
That's crazy.
And I'm on the SAC-B website trying to, look at more.
The election was almost 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it feels like it, right?
Well, Steven ain't really here no more, so yeah, ain't no problem.
I don't have to log on anymore. Well, at least not today.
I did that for you. You talking about the TV or the computer?
No, my laptop.
Oh.
I was about to say something, Damien. Well, I already know you have. You got custom shirts, right? Custom fitting shirts.
Yeah.
I already know. I don't. This isn't. I was just gonna say this is as close as I've had to. It feels really good.
The only Express, if I get Express extra slim, I don't have to get them cut. But like buying a suit and just wearing it,
no,
child, please,
can't do that.
That ain't happening. But you can.
Yeah,
I cannot.
I'm a 42 regular. I can like pull right off the rack.
Yeah.
See, the crazy thing for me is my arms don't match up with the size. Like I got kind of long arms, so for the fit that I want, like the jacket size may not match up with what the arm should be.
Yeah,
right.
It's
so
the broadness of your shoulders with the length of your arms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Live on twitch.tv/ESPN1320 as well, youtube.com/ESPN1320. If you're watching on YouTube, we ask that you hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button as well. Take part in the conversation in the chatty house. We welcome in 1320 Kings insider and creator of the Kings Beat, James Ham, joining us live in studio.
You know what's interesting? James is here, so it made me think about this. We were talking to Chris Biderman. He was talking about when McCaffrey was drafted in 2017, right? And we were like, dang, 2017, like it feels like McCaffrey's been around forever. He's like, what, 25, 26 years old or something like that? He hasn't been around long. It reminded me of a discussion that we had with on J Street Vibes, myself and Jason Jones the other day, talking about Malik Monk. Malik Monk's 24, right? Like, feels like he's been around forever. You got this guy that like is really good. Like, you can make the argument he's not even in his prime yet. And it's like the discussion we had with De'Aaron Fox. Malik Monk's 24 years old.
Fox will be 24 in a couple of weeks. I mean, 25,
That's crazy.
25 in a couple of weeks.
Man, that's crazy. And it just had me thinking about the prospects of this team. Herder's what,
24.
24.
He's 24. Davion's 24. Sabonis is 26.
I don't want to say it like baby Kings or nothing like that, but they're not like old either. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys are coming into their NBA prime a little bit. I don't know. It's kind of random, but I thought about that the other day. Like, damn, Malik Monk's still only 24 years old.
Yeah. In the NBA standards, this is basically like they're middle-aged players. They're guys in second contracts, although early in second contracts. It's really a perfect thing to get a bunch of guys that are right around the same age, right around the same like trajectory as far as like career path, and see where they can go together. Now they've got to get better and they've got to start winning. But it is good because if they're sort of good this year, maybe they get much better next year as a collective, just moving forward together. And none of these guys are truly in their prime. Like,
Right.
you know, prime is really like 27 to 31, 32 in the NBA now. I mean, that's not where it used to be, but that's kind of where it is now.
Yeah.
And so you would expect these guys to have another 2 or 3 years of growth, especially as a young core. And then where can they go from there? Pretty intriguing.
How do you feel about tonight's game?
You know, I think the one good thing is, I'll point this out, that the Kings played Orlando first. And so I bring that up because Orlando, clearly they don't have the guard strength that you're going to see from Cleveland.
Yeah.
But they have this crazy length that you've got to adapt to. And I think playing a team like that leading up to the game is a good thing. And let's just, if you combine the last 2 games the Kings played, you're going up against Steph and Clay, and you're going up against like this like anomaly team that is the Orlando Magic with, you know, like all 3 starters on the front line are like 6'10", 6'11" or bigger. All of them are crazy wingspan guys. All of them are very talented. So I really do think when we're looking at that team, the Orlando team, that's a lot what you're going to see from Cleveland. But then they have the guard play of what you're going to see from the Warriors. Maybe not as good, but really close. I mean, Donovan and Garland are both really, really talented players. So this is a good team. It's probably one of the better teams in the league.
Yep.
And I think they're a team that people are kind of sleeping on a little bit. This could be, you know, easily like an Eastern Conference Finals team.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I agree. I had my questions about them coming into the season. And I also thought a couple other teams in the East would be better than what they've shown, Philly, Brooklyn. But, you know, Damian talked about it earlier. I questioned it at first, but when we broke it down, this is a team that is a championship contender. You look at the East, I got Milwaukee better than everybody in the East. But, you know, they can be beaten. And I think Cleveland is probably on the same level as Boston.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Same level as Boston with potential to grow and grow and grow.
Yeah. And you want to talk about young. You want to talk about 24 years old here and say,
Yeah.
all those guys are.
Yeah.
Mobley's what, 20, 21?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and Garland is same, like 21.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a really, really talented team. It's a very well put together team. And even, you know, they added Market in last year, and it really made this weird, crazy 3 7-footers thing. And I think everyone was kind of taken aback, like, hey, they're trying something new. But then to be able to flip Market in for Mitchell, gave up some picks and stuff, but just improve yourself.
Opens your window right now.
Yeah. Even Karis LeVert is young. Forget they have him. Isaac Okoro can't even get on the court.
He's so good to me.
Yeah.
I think Karis LeVert is tremendous. Like every time I look at Brooklyn's mishaps, I look at that.
The thing with him, and I think they have him in the perfect situation right now. I don't know. He might be starting, but he's kind of a one-trick pony. Like he's a scorer, and a really good scorer is that. But he's probably best for the 6-man role. Like if Belo and JC in Cleveland, I would be saying
it's a good show.
It's a really good show. I'd be saying, hey, ideally, let's have LeVert come off as our bench. I don't know if he's starting at the 3 right now or not, but
I think a lot of games he is. I would even say, like, look, if you're that team and you know you're probably going to need veteran leadership at some point, you got Kevin Love. Would a Harrison Barnes for like Isaac Okoro and CD Osman trade make sense? Yeah. I think that would make a lot of sense for both teams.
Absolutely.
Where they get a cut and pay next year where they're going to have to pay a bunch of money out. But really, I think Okoro can't get on the court there, and he could be your long-term fixture in Sacramento at the small forward spot if he learns how to, you know, figure a few things out. But at the same time, you got, you know, another guy who can kind of carry the torch until then.
Yeah.
Well, since you brought him up, is it time to change something with Harrison Barnes?
I think it's time to ask for more. Like very specifically, the coaching staff has to be having these conversations. I think early in the season, you kind of, you know, he's a veteran. He'll figure it out. He's a veteran. And it's Harrison Barnes. You just keep thinking that. At some point, you have to actually have an honest discussion and say, hey, man, like, what is going on? How do we make this better? How do we help you succeed? Because we can't succeed if you can't succeed.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a tough conversation to have with anyone, but Harrison Barnes should not look this way at age 30. Like it should be a concern. I mean, he should not go through a game against his former team where he scores 0 points.
Yeah.
And like, look, if you're going to lose your minutes, it is what it is. Like Kevin Huerter, Malik Monk, they're raising their hands saying, I want it.
Right.
Terrence Davis, I want it. Ian Chimezi Metu, like, I want it. Like, where's that from some of these other guys? And Harrison's, unfortunately, he's got to be lumped into that. We had this discussion on the podcast, me and Sean and Brendan yesterday, and it really came back to, Sean goes, hey, I'm not so worried about Harrison. I'm more worried about Rashawn Holmes, but not so worried about Harrison. And I disagree. He's had one really strong game, maybe 2 out of the first 9. Yeah. And then the others are, milk carton games.
So I was going to say, but James and I, like I said, I hope all this turns around because I like Harrison. But the thing that I have been saying, what I said over the summer is, this isn't 9 games. Like, he's been as bad as I've ever seen him in these 9 games, but he wasn't great last year. Like, there was disappearing acts all throughout the last season. Now, it could have been the injury, it could have been whatever the case may be, but I saw it as a sign. It's like, hey, he's got to be better than what he was last year coming into this season.
But last year he still averaged like 16.5 points. He still averaged over 5 rebounds. He still shot 39% from 3. Like, even if you take a step back, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a guy who's, what's he shooting? 11% from 3 at this point.
Man.
Like, at whatever it is, it's not good. I don't. I'll pull up the numbers.
That's got to be something in his head. Like, he's fighting himself a little bit.
He's airballing shots.
Yeah,
yes.
That's not who he is.
He's shooting 16.7% from 3.
Didn't his first 3 of the season like clang off the side?
Oh, yeah, no, that was in the preseason.
Oh, that was preseason.
Yeah, I remember that shot.
We were together. I feel like we were together when he shot it.
Did he have another one?
I don't know. Maybe not. But he had
the preseason one where
it was like it turned out that was a sign of things to come. Like, oh my gosh, he missed that shot by 5 feet.
Yeah,
like me out there.
I don't know what to say because it's just, like, look, if Harrison Barnes hadn't shown us who he was for the last 3.5 years in Sacramento, then you can have expectations that are different than this. But you don't expect a player to just get to a certain age and stop producing the same way that they had in previous for years and years and years. And I know it's season 10. Well, season 10 in 2022 is like season 4 in 1995.
Right.
Like, these players are in much better shape. He's in much better shape. He's in tremendous shape. And I don't understand what it is. Like, you just don't lose the fastball like this out of nowhere. And so, I'd be concerned.
What's interesting is there's still, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it is. It is.
I'm with you because he's the fifth starter.
Yeah, it's like he had 0 points, didn't play the fourth quarter, didn't play most of the second half, and they lost to the Warriors by 3
on a bad call.
But I'll tell you guys why it is a deal. This is what I keep saying. He can't give you nothing. Like, if he's not scoring and he's locking up, cool. Like, yeah, we're not asking you to score 15. Do your job, defend and rebound. Or if he was getting a bunch of buckets and he couldn't stop nobody, all right, we got to figure something out on defense, but you're giving us 15. You can't be giving us 0 and get blown by every time down court. That can't happen.
Yeah, it's a absolutely puzzling situation. Like, I've covered this team for so long that I have seen so many players who come to Sacramento on free agent deals, figure out what's happening in Sacramento and stop playing basketball. Like, I can, like, the list is long. Like Marco Bellinelli, George Hill, Dwayne Dedman, Aaron Aflalo, Trevor Ariza. Like, so many players got to Sacramento and they end up being some of your worst players. And you're like, you guys have like such a proven track record. How can, and some people are, oh, well, you're expecting them to do too much. And I'm like, no, just be who you were. And that should be okay.
Yeah.
So I've watched this happen with so many veterans where You get to game 30 and you see the record and you see the guys that are succeeding, and it's the young guys that you're not expecting to succeed. And the guys that aren't are the veterans who know the job. They know they took the money.
Yeah.
And so with Harrison, I'm going to equate him to that a little bit, because it's not that he took the money or anything else. I mean, he's been here, but that's what it feels like. It feels like one of those veterans who walked in the door and just like, this is not what I expected. And so I don't know how they fix it, but I think it should be like really, really high priority. Number one. I mean, you can get away, if you're the Sacramento Kings, you can get away with Rashawn Holmes like falling apart on you because you got Alex Len, you got Chimezie Metu, you got Neemias Queta. You have other players that they can go and play that position. You have Domantas Sabonis, who's going to play 36 minutes anyways. Yeah. But you can't have Harrison Barnes. Like we keep saying it. You need more than one Harrison Barnes. You can't lose the one. You need two more of those guys. And all of a sudden you lost the one and he's still there. And it's really, really sort of an interesting, like, I don't remember something like this happening where a player just like took a step back, such a huge step backwards.
Yeah. Stuff.
So you're listening to D-Lo and KC on KIFM West Sacramento, KRX QHD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320, driven by Lashers, Elk Grove, Dodge, always live on the free Odyssey app. Jesse, thumbs up. We've got another set of tickets to Brooklyn coming up. Okay. In about 20 minutes, the Sacramento Kings will take on all of Brooklyn, every borough, coming up next week.
Yeah, next Tuesday. And
we'll have tickets for you in 18 minutes or so.
I did want to say this before we walked away from the Harrison conversation. If we were, I'm not sure, but it can't go on like this forever. But I like the way Mike Brown handled it on Monday. He gave Harrison his opportunity. He started. Obviously started the game, started the second half. Didn't get any better. He didn't have it. He didn't force going back to Harrison. He said, hey, it's winning time. And if that means you don't have it tonight and I can't go to you tonight, all right, let me get Monk in there. Let me get TD in there, or whatever the case may be. And I think that's the way it's going to be for the foreseeable future. I don't know how many games that is, but I think that's the way he's going to handle it. I don't think he's going to outright bench him. He's going to give him the opportunity to see what he has that night, see where he's at. If he's playing well, he's going to go with him. But if he's not, I don't think he'll hesitate not to play him in the majority of the second half or something like that.
Yeah, and like, look, Mike Brown doesn't call plays. He doesn't. So it's not like he's sitting there saying, okay, let's run this one for Harrison. Let's run this one for Harrison. He doesn't call plays. The other players are stepping up and filling these roles. And for whatever the reason is, Harrison isn't finding his niche. And that's what it looks like to me. Like, and is he out of sorts on the defensive end? Sure, he's out of sorts. But is he as horrible as some people like to say that he is? No, he's not.
He's pretty bad.
Well, he's not great. Like defensively, I'm not saying that he's like perfect, but at the same time, like you're asking him to guard some of the toughest players out there. And, you know, I think
put up 0 points, put KZ Agbala back in there.
No, I get it. But
because apparently he can only start or not play at all.
But the difference is they will still guard Harrison Barnes at the 3-point line. They will.
How much longer though? You think you like tonight? You think they're guarding Harrison at the 3-point line tonight?
Oh heck yeah. Well, I don't know. Karis LeVert has never struck me as a great defender either way, but
hey, this might be a game for him to get right.
Yeah.
Well, no, it'll be that game that Kenny comes in. We're really getting excited about 18 points from Harrison Barnes, huh?
His little big league.
You know what the sad thing is Harrison could go for 18 tonight. He could go for 20 tonight.
And we won't talk about it.
No, we won't.
Yeah.
Harrison, so both things can be true. Harrison needs to be better. We also need to show him a little bit more respect. Like we show that dude absolutely no. He scored 20, and I don't even think we brought him up.
That's what it is. He's protesting. He said, "Look, I'm not having a good game till you talk about my good game."
I'm okay though if he.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a completely fair form of protest.
I'm okay if he scores 14 and he grabs 5 or 6 rebounds and dishes out 1 or 2 assists, and he hits 35 to 40% of his 3-point shots. That's fine. But that's just not what we're getting. That's not the player you're getting. And so for me, even if he was taking a step back, you just don't expect this step back to be by 50%.
It just seems like it's so much more difficult for a guy like Harrison to kind of find his groove, if you will, than it would be for someone like De'Aaron, who De'Aaron has control of the ball, control of the offense. If the idea with De'Aaron is you got to get more aggressive, you got to get more he could do that. Harrison just kind of has to wait. We saw him in the Memphis game, I think, if I remember, he was really aggressive in the first quarter. And we had been calling for it for a few games at that point, and he had gotten aggressive. He had worked inside. The whole team as a whole was collectively trying to work inside. And then it seems to fade to where we got to the other night against Golden State.
Yeah. But I also, like, my response would be that while he's struggling the last couple of games, the same exact position Keegan Murray's playing, and he didn't seem to have any problems. Kevin Huerter, all of those positions, it's really like 2, 3, and 4. They all have the same job. They all play the same role on the offensive end. They all have the same opportunities. They all have the same motion. Everything is the same. So why are some of the other guys not having these problems? And he is. And that's something that, like, they have to figure out. How do you get him, like, engaged and actually being a functional part? Because they need his shooting.
Yeah.
They do. They still need his shooting in order for this thing to work.
And look, that's the other thing about it that myself and Damian were talking about earlier. Ideally, you don't want to bench Harrison. Like, I know me right now, I want to see him play better. I want to see him get into the groove and play, because I'd much rather, and this isn't rocket science, they're a much better team if Harrison is functioning at a high level than opposed to, oh, we benched them and KZ came in and gave us what we wanted. Like, I'd much rather have Harrison Barnes playing well than benching him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to bench him. Like, I don't think, like, maybe they're having, like, cursory discussions on what they have to do to get him more involved. I don't think they're benching. He's still playing 32 minutes tonight. I mean, he dropped to 22 last game, but that's an anomaly this season. He's done, I think, twice where he's played a few minutes. But I mean, this is a guy that, like, you take out like 2 games, he's probably averaging 35, 36 minutes a game. Like, Mike Brown relies on him. And you have to, at what point does he start to go, this is not, like, my return on investment here isn't working? And I mean, we got to be somewhere close to that, but it's 9 games in.
At what point are close competitive losses not enough?
That's tough.
They have realistically not really played bad this year. I mean, I don't, and I know people feel a certain way about a Memphis game. I didn't think they were awful in the Memphis game by any stretch.
So they just got beat.
There was a stretch of the first Golden State game that was just eye roll. Like, okay. But in reality, they fought their way back. They gave themselves a small opportunity to win, but still, every other game, I don't think you could ask for much more from in terms of totality. Like, there were obviously pockets where they didn't play well, but it's still, they're 3-6. At what point is it? Yeah, that's not going to do it if we want to get where we want to go.
Yeah, I mean, that's the $1 million question, because I think we also have to factor in schedule. The schedule has not been easy the first 10 games of the season.
But when does it get easy?
Or not easy?
Never.
Well, there is always a point in the schedule where it at least gets softer. Again, like, how many times have they played a team like the Lakers that's coming up on Friday? They haven't yet. They haven't really played that game. I mean, Orlando, that's not a bad team. That's just a young team who hasn't figured it out yet.
But that's the whole league. I look at that. The whole league is, the Lakers are terrible right now. They can win.
Yeah,
they can beat anybody.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron is still there.
Yeah,
but Russell Westbrook is still there. He's capable of.
He's balling right now. You see him?
Sixth man of the year.
Balling right now.
It's better to get this stuff out of the way right now, though, because we're going to get to game like 40. And again, I said it before the season, there are going to be so many teams that are like, yeah, we ain't really got a chance. We're out. And we're going to see the ripcord pulled on a bunch of these teams. And so you need to figure it out right now. You're right. But, like, if they won one of these games where they got, like, nailed by the officials here out of the 2, then they're 4-5. Like, they're a game below 500, like, they're so close.
Yeah.
So I think you have to let the process play out as long as they don't get caught up in, oh man, we're falling too far behind. You know, we're sinking here. As long as that feeling doesn't seep in, then keep playing. And for that matter, like if you are seeing something right now that's wrong with this team, all of us see at least one or two things that are wrong right now with this team. That's on Monty McNair to go make those changes. And he doesn't have to wait. There's no one that says he has to wait till December 15th or that he has to wait until 2 days before the trade deadline. If you see something you need to address and you need fixed with this team, go out and get it as early as possible. Like, go help this team. We obviously know they need a shot blocker, or they have to play. Like, I don't think putting Alex Len out there with Domantas Sabonis would work at all. So I don't know how that works. Same thing about Queta. Maybe one of the answers is to give a guy like Queta a shot. Like, he is a shot blocker, but you know you need that. But what you really need is you need a 4 or you need a 3 that can impact the game on that end of the court. So go start searching for that guy right now, because there are teams already who are like, yeah, we're winning too many games. This isn't what we're signing. We're in it for Victor, and that, you know, we're trying to do the victory lap here. And that's just not where they're at. And so, like, be aggressive and fix the holes. You knew that this team wasn't complete coming into the season. There are opportunities that you should be addressing as quickly as possible.
Is there, I asked Damian this the other day. We had a discussion about this. Is there a number, win-loss wise, record wise, that would get you concerned about this team? Damian, I think yours was like, I'm around that mark right now, where like
I was concerned. Yeah, I was concerned that they lost that game against Golden State, which they very, very much could have won. And I've stated I do not feel good about this matchup against Cleveland.
And mine was probably on the complete opposite spectrum, where I was like, if they were to get 9 or 10 games below 500, that's when I'd be pushing the panic button. When are you looking at this team like, hey, they're in big trouble?
It's not 9 or 10. It's 7 or 8. That's usually when I'm like,
that's fair.
Okay, like, how do you get back? You know, like I fell under 500 in fantasy football because, like, for a long time I wasn't really paying that much attention. I've been fighting to get back, but every time you lose in that situation, it's 2 games that you got to make up that one, and then you got to make up one more to get back up. And so, like, you can't drop that many games under 500 and expect that you can magically make those games up somewhere. So, like, for me, usually it's 7 or 8 where I start to go, yeah, this feels uncomfortable.
So, and 7 or 8 is fair. I understand it. But the reason why I say 10 is obviously you're trying to get to at or above 500. But yeah. I'm thinking postseason, right? And 10, you don't need to get to 500 to get to your goal of playing playoffs, right? You
should assume that you should, though. That's going to be the mark.
But it never happens. Like, it never happens. The 10th seed every year is like 13 games below 500.
No, that's just the last couple of years.
Every year, like, we did it one time. We went back to like 07. Every year, the 10th seed, the 9th seed might be right there because there used to be a battle between 8 and 9. 10 is always 12 to 15 games below 500.
Yeah, but didn't, like, the one year that the Suns like almost made the playoffs and they under Hornacek,
that was like a 40-win team. That was like a decade ago, though, wasn't it?
No, they won 48.
Oh,
they won 48 and didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, and they were
but that was the 9th seed.
Well, yeah, but even that year, I mean, I don't know that the 10th seed was under 500, and if they were, maybe. But
that's crazy too. I think, remember one year the Warriors won like 45. I think after they broke the streak, I think the next year they won like 45 and didn't make the playoffs. But like that's the 10th is almost always. I'll take that back a little bit. Almost always 12 games below 500. So if you got to 10 below, obviously you want to play better. I'm not saying like, oh, everything's great. Or if you got 7, 8, your goal is really to get, all right, let's get back to 3 games under 500. Not the whole 500.
Strangely enough, the 10th seed is often whatever the Sacramento Kings record was. That's a pretty regular occurrence.
Yeah.
34 wins in 2019, 2020. That was the Phoenix Suns. They were 30,
but 34 out of 72.
Sacramento was 39 at 9. 10 was the Lakers. They were 37. That was 2018-19. Going back to 17.
Okay.
Whoa, man.
Let's
Clippers,
just say
42 and 40.
I
Was the
think
10th seed.
I think to make
Oh,
the
the
10
season,
seed this year, 37, 38 games at a minimum. And
Sounds fair.
and I'll tell you this, my 13 years, one time they won 39 games. Every other season has been 33 and below.
Yeah.
You can give the two Walton, if you prorated the two Walton years during 72, those prorated to 35 wins. But still, like one time they won 39 games. So that's why, like, they're up against
Man,
it. Like,
it fluctuates a lot more than I think we realize in recent years. Like I've seen 39 and 40 as numbers, and I'm now at 2012 where that number's 41 and 41 for the Dallas Mavericks. The Portland Trailblazers were 11th and they had 33. Kings had 28 wins that year.
Oh, what a season.
what year is that?
12-13.
12-13. Okay. Yep. And the Kings were much better that year than they should. They had a better team. They had injury issues that year.
Back when LeBron first started listening to Migos in 2010, Phoenix was 40 and 42. They were the 10th seed. The Houston Rockets were 43 and 39.
League was strong. League was strong back in the day.
Strong.
Sacramento was 24 and 58.
I love the league right now. I think there's so much talent. So maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
It's tough. We're still going to get to the moment where these teams that are up there that we didn't expect to be up there, where they're not going to be up there anymore.
And to your point, Kenny, I don't know that there's a team, unless like a Utah or like the teams James is referring to, Utah, Portland, unless they remain significantly stronger than we thought, and they're not. Yeah. Well, obviously Portland isn't. I don't think Portland's tanking. I don't think their aspirations are to tank. Utah, like, no, we're going to compete all year, and they wind up in that vicinity of 39-40 when the season comes.
The Lakers might tap out.
The Spurs
Why would they though?
The Spurs are 5 and 6.
They might not be good enough.
Yeah, but they
But they wouldn't. But they would. So they're tapping
quit,
out, and they're
just
just LeBron's not playing. Anthony Davis isn't. Like they haven't tapped out yet, and they can't win.
That's what I'm saying.
I got you.
They may all be there and just keep losing games.
Well, they might just, but they could just get to a point where we're not playing LeBron anymore. We're not playing Russell Westbrook anymore.
Well, LeBron will be after he breaks the record.
Yeah, LeBron's going to break that record.
Then he goes to see Ohio State in their college football playoff run.
I'm glad that you finally admitted that.
Oh, they're getting in.
I'm
just
glad.
like,
I'm
just
glad.
like Michigan's getting in.
Oh,
they're getting in. Yeah, both of them.
All right.
Ohio State's going to get in because they're going to lose the Michigan game and still get in.
It's possible. I'm telling you. You think I'm crazy? It's possible. It's absolutely possible. Right now, the 10th seed is 5 and 6.
Right there.
It's Minnesota.
Right there. Dang, that's crazy.
It's Minnesota.
Anthony
Edwards.
They got to figure some stuff out. I'm just thinking
Anthony Edwards and his new statue offense.
The Statue of Liberty offense.
He running that Boise State play out there.
I just thought he had like Popeye's grease on his fingers.
Oh,
don't throw it to me.
man.
Don't throw it to me. Hang on.
He's like, I'm sick of this.
They got to figure some stuff out over there.
Yeah, you got
they do.
You got the Spurs. You got the Timberwolves that
The
are both
Spurs,
right
that's the
there.
other one.
Yeah, and then again the Pelicans 5 and 5. Like they're not blowing anything up. The Clippers, we all thought they'd be much better. But at 6 and 5, and Kawhi just once again shows you that you never know when he's going to play and when he's not.
Leave Kawhi alone, man.
Bro, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, look, man, it's a serious thing, right? He tore his ACL. Like what, 18 months ago?
Tore his ACL a long time ago. I looked that up too when I saw
he's Alex Smith out here. Like
it was June.
He will come back the same season.
What year is this? 2022. It was June, like 2021.
Yeah.
What year are we in? Yeah, he tore it a while ago.
Yeah, that's a while. That's
But
somebody told me, I think you've heard the same thing a while ago. They're like, Kawhi's never gonna be the same. This was before the ACL. And they're like, he's never gonna be this guy that's gonna play 70 games in the season, 75 games in the season. So
right now, is he going to play 40? Like, how many is Kawhi going to play? Has he played?
I don't think he's played. No.
He's played one.
He played
Has he played
Lakers
since that game?
I think he played another game after that, and he hasn't played since then. I don't think
He's played 2 games all season.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But,
Yeah.
That's tough.
The first game, the first 2 games of the season.
No, we played the first game and he played the third game. So he skipped the Kings game. Yeah.
The Paul George, Kenny's MVP game.
No, Paul George beat the Cavs the other night.
No, that was a terrible game from the Cleveland Cavaliers. We've got tickets to see the Sacramento Kings take on all of Brooklyn. You can be a part of the festivities for the Sacramento Kings' first nationally televised game since God knows when. James, when was
since God? Because that would have been accurate.
God? I think God was the starting 2 the last time the Kings had a.
I remember maybe in my 6 years at NBC, maybe twice where we had TNT in town, because when they're in town,
well, we've had them in town before. They just didn't get to call a game that night.
Yeah,
it wasn't TNT. I think it was ESPN, right?
Yeah,
the March.
They've had a couple in Golden One on TNT.
They have?
Yeah.
Oh. They had a
because I remember
game. Hey, Cuz came back on TNT.
Yeah, we got nothing.
Okay.
We got nothing. Like those games. Those are games where we wouldn't do pre and post.
Oh, right. Gotcha. Yeah. Anyways, we've got your tickets right now. Caller number 1,300. What's our station? 1140, 1320, 1,320.
It's absolutely not that.
No, because there's people actually listening to it. Caller number 1,320 or 3, whichever Jesse feels like counting to. 916-909-1320. We'll get you all set up. Caller number 3 right now. Kings, Brooklyn, national television, Golden One Center, Tuesday.
It's gonna be a
Jacques Vaughn.
Jacques Vaughn gonna be in the house. Kyrie might be in the house.
You know, Jacques Vaughn may be a fantastic coach, by the way. I just feel like this whole circus around Brooklyn is just that.
That's exactly
it's ridiculous.
I had a moment with Jacques Vaughn when he was coaching Orlando years ago.
What happened?
Like
a good. I never know what you mean when you say that. Like,
no, it wasn't a great moment. No, I went over to cover the Jazz pregame, and I had a shirt that was slightly. It had like a pink and a purple like stripes, and he goes, "Oh, I see you're wearing your team colors," and he was trying to call me out for wearing purple, which it wasn't really a purple shirt at all. And I said, "Oh no, I was just paying homage to your Utah Jazz days." To be like, I smarted back off to him because I'm like, I'm not gonna take that from like Jacques Vaughn in a media scrum. But yeah, that was a while ago.
I'm not gonna take that from Jacques Vaughn.
Like, I don't even know what's the deal, bro? You don't know me. Like, why are you acting that way? So yeah.
I'm not gonna take that from Jacques Vaughn. It's my favorite line ever.
Yeah, I mean, if that was like,
put it on a shirt.
I mean, come on. If that's pop, then it's gonna be like, well, coach, sorry, I'll wear a different shirt next time. But no, I mean, come on now. I'm like, so yeah, that was my response. I brought it back to his Utah Jazz days.
Yeah, I mean, Pino, right? James a low key hothead.
I can be honest. Like,
I'm not gonna take that from Jacques Vaughn.
So good for him. Like, I'm glad you got the job, but yeah.
If you don't wear that same shirt to the media scrum on Tuesday,
yeah, I just it's one of those things where you just like, if someone catches you off guard where they're being like a troll in a media session, you're like, it reminds me of like when Kobe was so rude in a media scrum, and I walked away with my thoughts on Kobe. Like, you're gonna have a really difficult time changing my opinion of who you are as a dude in real life, because that was uncalled for and that wasn't okay. And it wasn't even towards me; it was towards somebody else. And I was like, "Oh, you're that guy. I got you." So it's the same thing.
Did Kobe ever change your mind?
Kobe kissing babies on in his last game at Arco. I think he let go of the persona and grew up a lot in his last couple of years. Where
I think he let go of the persona when his team stunk. He's like, I can't
maybe
do this anymore.
Yeah, I just know that when he was younger, it was always like he was brash, but also like there are moments in a locker room where someone says something that could be taken the wrong way, and a player could just blast somebody, and or making fun of them and say something like rude. And it was one of those moments where you're like, oh, you just did that. Like, oh, like that makes me not really like I'm good. Like I know who you are. That's fine with me.
Not going to take that from Kobe Bryant.
No, like it wasn't aimed towards me. Like, again, like if Greg Popovich, if you ask Greg Popovich a stupid question,
oh yeah,
he makes
give you a stupid
feel
answer.
stupid.
Oh yeah,
he makes you feel stupid, but it's in a very weird way. I
disagree. I think he may. What he does is he'll go at you. He'll make you feel stupid, and then like later, like when it's over, he'll like wink at you or something. It's like no. You were a jerk really, really loud. Like, don't wink at me now.
And I wouldn't take that from Pop. Just answer the damn question. I don't care if you think it's stupid or not. Answer the question. We don't need all the shenanigans.
He is. Pop.
I've been there for a couple of them. Like, you're just like, oh no, don't ask that question. Don't ask it that way.
I don't care if I ask you if the sky is blue. Just answer the damn question.
Yeah. So
what are we doing here? I don't really want to talk to you right now, but this is my job.
We're gonna calm James down. James. James. I'm not talking to a man named Josh.
Oh my God.
Oh man. Hothead Ham. We're back with more. It's D'Lo and KC. One final look on the Kings and the Cavaliers when we return here on Sacramento Sports Leader ESPN 1320.
These cookies are delicious. What's this one with the? It looks like white chocolate chips. What is that?
Yeah, it's like a white chocolate chip thing. Yeah.
Coach Patrick brought in 2 Australian signings.
Ooh.
7-foot center from NBA Global Academy.
Ooh.
Bowen Beatty. Played for the Australian junior national team. Other signee, 6-foot point guard, has been playing professionally in Australia in the NBL league, named Bailey Nunn.
We're about to do work. We about to
25 points per game in high school. That's what Coach Patrick was smiling about.
Oh yeah, we about to do work this year.
That's good stuff.
Sac State.
Chatty House got me laughing.
They're funny.
You guys are funny today. Good stuff. Let me. Someone asked this. Like Adrian. I'm just gonna throw this up. Spill the beans on the Keegan situation. Look, listen. Players have personal things that go on, just like you have personal things that go on, Adrian. I know what's going on. It's something that it's like they're going through something. So him and his family. So just like typically when people go through things as a family, I think you probably understand that means there's usually like an illness or something's going wrong. So that's all it is. And he's a young man who's on his own for the first time, and things aren't going as planned back at the homestead with family members. So just take my word on it and send some love for the guy. That's all.
That's all that's needed, man.
We don't need to know everything that goes on.
No, I'm not talking to a guy named Jacques.
I didn't say that. No, but if someone's gonna be like gonna pop off, then no. And no, I don't hate French food. No, I literally send everyone to Josephine's.
James loves French food.
The French restaurant in Auburn, which is stunningly good.
Look how many people are here.
Wow.
There is a full-fledged party here.
Oh, can't. Look, everybody's all dressed nice and everything.
You're not gonna make it, y'all. James, come get you one. Come get you one of these pieces.
Kenny's gonna eat all four cookies.
How many have you eaten?
Come get you a piece, James.
Jesse, you should come in here and
Jesse,
get a
come
bite
get
of these
one.
cookies. I broke them
Jesse,
into
come get the
fours.
frosting one. Eat frosting like a man, Jesse.
Like a man.
Eat frosting like a man.
You guys are ridiculous.
Damien, you can go to hell, straight to hell.
French fries.
You guys
French
know.
dressing.
No, that's the wrong one.
Hulk Hogan, you can go to hell. Straight to hell.
Hulk Hogan, you can go to hell.
You guys know there's NBA basketball right
Yeah, Orlando's playing, right?
now. Yeah. They're in the second quarter.
You going at those cookies over there? That's good stuff.
Oh yeah, these are good. The other ones, that's not really my jive, but these are bomb.
My wife brings these home at least once or twice a week, mainly because my 15-year-old talks her into it. And
My mom likes crumble cookies.
So we have like little quarters or slivers. You just walk by, take a little sliver.
Looks like they setting up beer pong or something from here. I can't tell what the hell. Look, I see red cups over there.
Things
beer
are going to get
pong?
wild up in here.
Oh, we got a DJ and everything. I guess that would make sense. We are a radio station.
You guys are going to party, aren't
We
you?
party in
Yeah.
Odyssey.
I
We
guess.
party at Odyssey. I don't know what y'all do anywhere else, but we get down over here.
They don't party. They don't party.
He's trying to tell you those cookies are 3,000 calories each, just so you know.
Who?
Man, Kenny don't
You
care.
guys ever know me to care about calories?
Kenny's calories don't even count. We got to put, this is a true story. We got to put on a name tag when the show's over. I see people walking around with their name tags on.
My name is.
It's a true story.
Are you going to put D-Lo?
Yeah, we were told to put the name that we are
Really?
best known as. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's like a big crew here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's food everywhere.
Did you see Dom's King's thing?
Yes, that's super nice.
It's pretty dope.
Little Oscar, Tiny Archibald,
Buddy.
Tizzy. Yeah. Brian Grant, Spud Webb. Why does Spud Webb got to be so little?
Well, look how small De'Aaron is.
That's just rude.
Wait, who did we remove?
We didn't remove anybody. We changed.
Oh, we just added someone because
Well,
I just looked down and was like, "Wait, is that?" Yeah, that is.
I think BG was added.
Yeah, BG was
And
definitely
and
added.
he was moved.
I think De'Aaron's way too small. That's the only thing. I just think
Hurley.
De'Aaron is too
Bobby Hurley
small.
looks a little small. Walt Williams.
Well, Bobby Hurley can be small. De'Aaron can't. Like come on. Like Rashawn's bigger than De'Aaron.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, that's really like the Spud Webb. It's disrespectfully small. He's like this big. Nobody
I don't
put
know,
Spud in the corner.
Where is Spud? Is
He's
Spud
right
by
in the
Matt?
middle. He's
Who's that?
right in the middle.
Who's the
Oh, okay.
Who's the guy above? Oh, that's Brian Grant. I definitely need
To the left.
We'll put this on Instagram so you guys can see it. Can you guys? One, you know we would do this, Dave. You know we absolutely would. You wouldn't be able to hear or really see it. Live on the Odyssey app, live on twitch.tv/ESPN1320. Jesse, we got a winner for tickets. We did? Okay. Cool.
Hey, did you
We'll have more
guys-
tickets to give away tomorrow.
We're definitely talking Kings. Don't get it twisted. But did you, Jesse? Maybe you saw this too. You guys see Eli Manning with Fabio Ford?
No.
Jesse,
was
did you see
this?
that?
Didn't he take a shot with him or something like that? Eli Manning's so cool. That's first ballot right there.
At the iced out Cuban and the hoodie, and he was like, and it wasn't like a bid or anything either. It was like on Fabio's like IG, and he was like, "We got Eli up in here." He was listening to the new music. Eli was like, "Yeah,
This was
Yeah.
on Monday night. Manning.
no,
No?
It's like on Fabio's IG, like, yeah, I got Manning here in the studio with me." I retweeted it, I think.
What?
Eli's way cooler than Peyton. Way cooler.
He's like, yeah, I'm out here. Yeah. That's what he said.
Sometimes I wonder, do I even follow Kenny? You always say something. Did you see this? Did you see this? I tweeted it.
He's got me muted.
I didn't even see
When
it.
did
really
we
has
get
been
to a
good.
point where the Manning brothers are cool? Like, I
don't know.
never thought that would happen.
I don't know. I don't know. But Eli,
Yeah.
Peyton knows how to work a room.
Eli be in the streets.
Yeah, Peyton knows how to work a room. Eli, I didn't know Eli was living that life.
Eli said, yeah.
That's hilarious.
There he is. Oh wow. Oh goodness gracious.
Playing Fabio's new track in
That's
the background.
wild. That's why. Oh, why is Eli dressed like that?
That's what I'm saying.
How do you think that gets set up?
I don't know.
Is that Eli? Like Eli really about that life?
I have no idea why
I ain't
Eli
even
was
mad.
there.
I ain't even mad at Eli.
No, I gotta look this up.
I ain't even mad. I knew there was a Commanders press conference today. Oh Lord, they're being investigated for more.
Well,
Is that surprising?
I think Goodell needs to step in and just get the team off of Schneider now.
I'm still looking for this Eli.
Oh, this is bad. Oh,
Get
man,
the team off
Warriors-
of him like immediately, effective immediately.
The Washington Commanders are good Lord. I knew there was something going on with them. All right. We've got the Sacramento Kings and the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. Who's guarding Donovan, by the way? At the start of the game.
Fox. That's
No.
a tough matchup. I mean,
Herter.
Herter?
Yeah, I think so.
And it's De'Aaron and
Garland.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
I thought they might. Well, we don't
Broadcast
know, but
journalist.
I thought they might put De'Aaron on Davion to slow him down early, since Garland may be trying to set things up a little bit more than Davion. But Donovan, excuse me. But yeah, maybe they will put Horton on Mitchell.
And Donovan and De'Aaron are good friends. They're the same draft class, like all those guys, same draft class with Monk and with Herter, but like they've known each other for a long time. They played AAU against each other, and De'Aaron said multiple times, like we all knew Donovan forever. Like he's a great defender at the high school and the college level, but we never knew he could score.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he gets in the league. You're like, what in the world did this come from? Like, where did it come from? So yeah, crazy.
He's killing it this year too.
KC had a wild idea. Try leading in a game. I know it's crazy.
12-point lead at half. And did
It's
that
not
work?
out there.
It's crazy.
They won.
22-point lead
Well,
at half, and they almost blew that one too.
Maybe don't fall behind at the beginning.
Yeah,
maybe
so the Heat game they went wire to wire, but the Warriors game they had to battle back from being down 11.
again.
Like, let's not do that.
You know what I'd love to see? Just blow a team out. Like, I don't know who, but just like drop the hammer on somebody.
I agree.
Just like make everybody feel like, oh, okay, they've got that in them, and then you can build from there.
Yeah.
Like it would be good to see. I don't know who you're going to do that against, but you know,
It
like,
feels like even the Thunder do it against somebody. The Spurs then blew somebody out. You got to be able to, you got to blow somebody out.
I
At some
don't know.
point.
That blowout's coming tonight.
no.
Was Cleveland's tired on this road trip unless they've about had it.
Well,
The
isn't Cleveland?
Sacramento flu.
Well, they really want to get back to Cleveland. They're really in a hurry to get back to Ohio. So I don't know.
That night on K Street, Sacramento flu.
Is that Tiger walking with DJ Abs? Abs won. Yeah.
Tiger for Taco Tuesday.
I remember 10 years ago when I started screaming Taco Tuesday. I was telling my kids, man, this is going to be one of the biggest things ever. Like the whole world's
thought
going
it was
to be
crazy.
The whole
Nobody was
world's
really
going to be.
thinking
No
about
one was
Taco
really
Tuesday.
talking about. Everyone was talking about tacos on a Wednesday, tacos on a Monday. I say, yo, what about that alliteration, dog? What if we did Taco Tuesday? That's how I envision LeBron James feels about Taco Tuesday. He invented Taco Tuesday. I think it should be acknowledged LeBron James is the inventor of all.
He is.
And the
Clearly.
discoverer of all. He actually discovered D'Lo and Casey
Facts.
on a trip to Sacramento.
All
He heard us separately. He heard my
It's like,
podcast.
I think these guys would be good together.
He
to be
heard
honest with
Casey.
you.
Well, he certainly almost destroyed Sean Cunningham's career before it even began.
I don't know this story.
You don't know where LeBron signed an autograph for Sean in one of Sean's first games, but LeBron's first game in Sacramento.
Uh-huh.
And that's a big no-no in the
Yeah.
video world for us to take a signature from a player. But Sean was waiting for his recorder to download and had the program underneath his recorder. And LeBron came over to sign an autograph for a kid and his grandma right next to him, and Sean wasn't even paying attention. All of a sudden, the program gets ripped out of Sean's hands, and then he signs it, and then Sean looks up. He's like, "Oh no!" He's like, and I mean, LeBron's like a 18-year-old kid. It's his first game, and LeBron's like, "I don't know what to do with this thing," and he hands it to Sean, and now Sean has an autograph program from the first LeBron James game in the history of LeBron James at Arco Arena. He has a program, and he didn't throw it away, and he actually got it framed like 2 years ago. But
he waited 18 years to get it framed.
He waited like forever.
Sean's been waiting for that call from HR for 18 years.
Well,
That's actually why he left. That's why he left ABC for Fox. They found out. They finally found out 18 years later.
It's such a great story, though. Sean's like, he looks up, and he looks over, and he sees like the producer from his radio station sitting there like, no. He's like, I didn't know. And then boom, he hands it back to him like, yeah.
18 years later, he's fired from ABC for that infraction, and he goes to Fox. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a great story.
It is a great Sean is a good storyteller.
Mark says LeBron actually pitched the idea of the Drake bars to Kenny.
Truth is out. The truth is out now.
Well, it's LeBron did name Drake as well. You know,
I've heard that.
Yeah,
There's that.
I've heard that.
He was going to come in as Aubrey.
Yeah.
No,
He found
should
him.
be Drake, bro.
So Aubrey, that doesn't make any sense. You seem like a Drake, and I think you can rap. So we're gonna roll with
but
that.
harmonize a little bit. Like
Little bit,
LeBron
little bit.
invented singing and rapping. That's what he did.
He's so innovative, man. He really is.
He was talking to his friend Busy on the corner one day. He was like, "Yo, if you just talked really fast, like I think that'd be a dope record." And then Bone Thugs and Harmony was created. LeBron was like 4. It's amazing.
Just a kid from Akron.
Just a kid from
Just a toddler from Akron. That's all I was. Just a toddler from Akron.
Speaking of Akron and Cleveland, James, am I crazy for thinking the Kings are going to win tonight? I think they're going to win tonight.
I don't know. I just think that LeBron's going to hear part of this clip, and he's going to drop 75 on the Kings on Friday night.
Hey,
I love LeBron.
De'Aaron Fox is going to go for 75 tonight. I'm going to tell my friends right now.
And then
he's
he'll
going for
beat the
75.
Kings at the buzzer, and he'll say he invented beating the Kings at the buzzer and get fouled, but no foul will be called.
No call.
He invented the no call against the Kings.
He's going to clothesline De'Aaron Fox going to the key to try to win the game by 1. Yeah. I was the first one to screw the Kings. What do you mean? The NBA can't stop screwing the Sacramento Kings.
Didn't he foul Harrison Barnes on like a game-ending play a couple years ago?
Oh, he did. It was
He like tripped him or something.
they called Harrison Barnes for an offensive foul against LeBron.
I think it was 2 of them. Yeah, it was 2. It was that, and then Harrison went for a drive.
He went for a drive and got called for an
tripped.
offensive foul.
Well, I thought he got tripped by LeBron, and they didn't call it.
No, they called the foul the wrong way, and LeBron went to the line. I think it was 3 seconds left. LeBron went to the line and hit a pair of free throws to beat the Kings. Maybe I'm wrong. I was there at that game. I'm almost positive it was
Staples.
It was down in LA. Yeah,
he was first.
I've been to quite a few games down there.
No,
he was first.
Well, that message will come on Friday. I remember LeBron dropped like 50 on the Kings at Arco. I remember he was with Cleveland at the time. I think he dropped like 53, 4 or 5, something like that. He invented dropping 50.
It's just crazy. People thought it was like the wrong thing to do, and I was like, "No,
I'm gonna drop 50." All right,
ridiculous.
That is facts. We worked through our Harrison Barnes issues. We worked through our Rashawn Holmes issues.
Did we? Did we work through Rashawn Holmes issues?
I think the issue is
like,
just
are we going to see him?
Yeah, I thought we worked through them on Monday. Just by not playing him, that pretty much solves that. And I like Rashawn. I want Rashawn to play well, but clearly they're seeing something that's not working, James. Like, because unlike Harrison, there's no Rashawn moment. That hasn't happened this year. And he's had some really sporadic minutes in games.
Yeah, the thing that stood out to me, to be honest with, like the one glaring moment in the Golden State game was when Malik Monk drove to the basket and threw a ball up, and Chimezie went through 3 guys to hammer down this like incredible alley-oop. And I thought to myself, why is Chimezie Metu able to do that? And where's Rashawn Holmes been? That's Rashawn Holmes' play.
Yeah.
Like, that's your play. And we haven't seen that like maybe once or twice all season long where he's emphatically hammered a ball down.
Yeah.
But to me, it was like this moment where, okay, well, if Chimezie can do that and he can defend on the perimeter a little bit, as long as he's only taken 13 shots in 4 games, that's fine. As long as he knows how to stay on the court, to play defense, to bring energy. And if you get a shot to put a ball in the basket, go ahead and do it. But don't expect to go out there and get 9 shots in the first quarter like you did once or twice last season. But yeah, I don't know where they're going to go with Rashawn Holmes at this point. And it's possible, again, that was just a situation against the Golden State Warriors where Chimezie had played so incredibly well the last time they played the Warriors, where Mike Brown saw something and was like, hey, I'm going to go to this again.
Yeah.
It's the ability to switch out on 5 players. But now we're going up against, the Kings are going up against another team with this incredible length. You need Rashawn Holmes in this game. You need Rashawn Holmes to come in and play hard and figure out what's going on. But again, if he can't defend the perimeter, the Cavs are number 2 in the league, shooting 39.9% from 3. Like, you got to defend these guys on the perimeter too. So I don't know how you do it, but I think that they got to figure out a way to get Barnes and Holmes going at some point, even if it's just so they can build their value.
And, I do want to say real quick, I don't want to overstate it or say like it's been, he's dominating. I've liked the way Chimezie has played in the last couple of times he's been out there. He's been effective. He's been in control, understanding his role. And right now he's playing his way into the rotation and into the lineup.
I totally agree. He took maybe one shot that I thought was a little rush, a little questionable in the last game.
A little post-up shot, I think.
Yeah.
That's not really his thing.
No, it wasn't really. Yeah, he tried to go up and over somebody.
Thing, yeah.
Outside of that, I think he's played within what Mike Brown wants. Like we discussed this last night on the pod, me and Sean. Sean said he thinks Chimezie's doing it his way. And I said, I don't think that at all. I think Chimezie has figured out what Mike Brown wants, and he's doing exactly what Mike Brown wants. And that's what's going to get him on the court. And that's good. It's good for a young player. Every player has to go through this where they start to realize who they are in the league and if they're going to stick, what they have to be. And every once in a while, you'll get an opportunity to be something different for a little while, but you really have to know that if you're going to be in the league, you have to be this player. And I think Chimezie is coming around to that fact right now, which is a really, really good sign for him personally, whether he's in Sacramento or not. And like I talked to Omri Caspi about this years ago, and Omri said, when I got traded from the Kings to Cleveland, I thought I was going to be this like 3rd scorer on Cleveland and everything was going to be amazing. And it didn't work out at all. I bombed and I get dumped to Houston. Kevin McHale pulled him aside and said, look, dude, if you're going to be in the league, you're going to have to shoot the corner 3 and you're going to have to play defense. And I don't want to see anything else. If you're open on a fast break, go ahead. That's fine. Go dunk. That's fine. Outside of that, I want you sitting in the corner and I want you hitting the 3 ball. And I need you to be a really good role player. And that's when the light bulb went on for Omri and extended his career by, 5 seasons or so. And this is that moment Chimezie has to take it seriously and play to his strengths, but play within a system and play a role for a coach. And maybe he can stick around for a while.
Is that the same acceptance Rashawn needs to come to?
No.
Or
I mean, that's a good question though, because Rashawn knows who he is. Rashawn, but like, again, like,
but who is Rashawn?
Not to go back to the podcast discussion again, but we discussed this last night. Like, Rashawn hasn't looked like Rashawn for a year. It's not like this is a new thing. He didn't look like himself at all last year. The year before, he was incredible. Like, you're a pick and roll guy. You're a dunker. You're a finisher in the lane. You got your flip shot. He averaged 1.6 blocks per game. Like, this team needs that 1.6 blocks per game so bad. And it's just not him. Where did you go? So I think Rashawn's biggest thing, he has to do some soul searching and find how he can fit in this system, but also how he can accept the fact that he has to play well in his first 4 minutes, or he might not get another look. And he needs to earn He needs to go from 4 minutes in the first half to 6 minutes in the first half to 10 minutes in your second stint to 12 minutes. Start building from that 12 minutes and start piecing things together where you can start to be a viable part of the rotation.
And to break it down even more, would that just be, if I was Rashawn's agent or his brother or something like that, I'd be like, don't worry about the box score, focus on defense. Is that to break it down even more?
Exactly.
Don't
He
worry
had
about
a game
nothing,
like
just
that.
Focus on defense. The Miami game,
Was
I
it?
thought
Is
he
that the
played-
one it was?
the
Yeah.
one
Yeah,
here.
against Bam.
His
Yeah.
box score didn't look great, but he played.
I think
he was impactful.
2 games against Bam, he played
Uh-huh.
really well. But I'll point out the only good offensive game he's had is the first game is against Golden State, and he puts up big numbers. But at the same time, he gave it all back to Weissman. He got destroyed by Weissman, and so like there has to be this moment where like he has to reinvent. He doesn't have to reinvent who he is as a player. He has to reinvent who he thinks of himself within the rotation and within, the game of basketball on the Sacramento Kings. If he goes to another team and he becomes a starting center again, I think he'll flourish and he'll have no problems. This offense is not built for him. The fact that he's a backup to Sabonis is not something he signed up for. There's a lot that's going on here, and it's tough. Not everyone deals with it the right way or deals with it quickly enough. And, teams get impatient, especially when you have like 47 bigs on a roster. This team has so many players that can play that 5 position and that might be able to do a small ball 5 and give you minutes.
Hey, man, I'm a Rashawn Holmes fan. I hope he figures it out. And much like Harrison Barnes, I think the team can be a lot better with a good Rashawn Holmes being a part of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's
I
not,
agree.
I don't, and I hope people understand what I'm saying. Like, you could, change his minutes out with player X, and player X would produce a little bit. But I think you'd get more production from Rashawn doing what is expected of him. You get more production from Harrison Barnes doing what is expected of him than you would whoever you get to fill in for those guys. I think you're a better team with those two specifically playing better.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Rashawn Holmes was the heart and soul of this team for a long time. None of those players are still here. The only players that are left are Harrison Barnes and De'Aaron Fox that saw him as a guy who was the heart and soul of the team. So he has to reinvent himself, re-earn that. That's the way it goes. If you're playing high school football and you're the heart and the soul of the freshman team and the heart and the soul of the JV team, and then you get to varsity, well, you're not the heart and soul anymore. Someone else has already got that role. You got to figure out who your role is, how you fit into the puzzle. And like, I really do hope he figures it out. He's a good dude. I think he's a hustle guy, a guy who really has worked his way into the league as a fighter. And, he's got a great family. Like I hope it works out for him. But like, there has to be some accountability for the fact that he isn't living up to the standards of the player that he was before either.
Yeah.
It should also be pointed out, he didn't finish, Harrison didn't finish that last game. Kings didn't win. Rashawn didn't play at all against Golden State. Kings didn't win. So it's not like, okay, we figured this out. Like, even though it was a close game against Golden State, so we know we don't. No, you got to get something from, preferably both, certainly from Harrison. You got to get something from them.
They're 2 of your top 8 rotation players. That's they coming into the season.
Yeah, for sure. It feels
That's
like
who they were.
Rashawn is part of like a revolving door of guys who could get minutes. The Terrence Davis minutes, the Trey Lyles minutes, the Chimezie Metu minutes. Like, they just I think it's to Mike's credit. Whoever hits that night, that's who I'm going with.
He's searching. Sometimes he's searching a little bit.
But I think with those guys, not Harrison, not so much, but with those guys, I think it's okay. I think it's okay to coach within the flow of the game. If, man, it ain't TD's night, he's getting, we got to go Chimezie, we got to go here. Like, I think that's okay. We're not used to seeing it, at least, because we're used to seeing it like across 12 guys, not across like 4. So I think it's okay when it's across 4. Because I assume Mike is seeing something that he plays Trey Lyles 30 minutes one night and 4 the next. There's a reason that he's doing it. KC, D-Lo, we appreciate you guys so much for being with us. Make sure you subscribe to the Kings Beat newsletter over at thekingsbeat.com. Subscribe to the Kings Beat YouTube channel as well. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up before you go. Hit the subscribe buttons as well. And win or lose, we'll be back to cover it tomorrow.
That's right. Go Kings.
I'm hoping for those Drake bars here on
Yeah,
Sacramento's sports leader, ESPN 1320.
Go Kings.
And now we got to go out there.
These people just scrambling
All
everywhere.
over the place, man. You just hear, like, who are you, sir? Sir.
Yeah, that's interesting.
There's a lot of that going on. As you guys might have guessed, we have got to shut this down. And there's a lot of activity behind Casey right now, so we've got to shut this down, man. Yeah. Look, Jesse, move your camera. Look at. Yeah, it's going down.
It's going down.
It's going down.
What is happening?
Squint.
Squints.
I will be at the
DJ
game.
Squints.
Yeah.
102.5.
All right, man. We are getting out of here, man. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Let's go, Kings. Come on, baby.
Bye, friends.